What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 4PB Chapter 96 Blue Lightning vs White Mask, for subscription, ===. Advertisement. Boom. With the appearance of this man, the pale thunder and lightning hit the ground. In an instant, an extremely huge shockwave was immediately set off, and it spread around his body suddenly and indiscriminately. The powerful storm emptied everything on the ground almost instantly. The clothes of Qing Yu and Kakashi on the side were blown into a hunting noise. And at this time, this white beam of light began to slowly disappear. This man, surrounded by blue thunder and lightning, kneeled on one knee and propped on the ground with one hand. Against the backdrop of the storm, he was powerful. After a while, he slowly stood up, slightly raised his eyes, swept a glance in all directions, and finally, looked at Qing Yu here and said calmly. Although the surroundings seem to have been very messy, but now it seems that the battle is not over. It seems that the old man came, just at the right time. The calm voice fell. Suddenly, the audience was silent. Almost everyone's eyes on the scene, at this moment, all focused on the person who appeared suddenly. This is a very strong man with dark skin and light yellow hair. Wearing a white cloak, there are green shuriken-style logos on both shoulders. Almost all of his body was wearing a thick layer of armor. The wide belt around his waist is even more eye-catching. However, at this moment, compared to his appearance, more people noticed, or the lightning entangled in him. This picture is too shocking. Everyone froze. Although some people had never seen him before, no one was ignorant when they saw the thunder and lightning around the body. Because this man swept all directions with such a powerful posture on the battlefield of the Ninja World War. It also has an extremely powerful title that is as famous as 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato's Yellow Flash. Blue lightning, like the armor of thunder, like the speed of lightning. When he walks through the battlefield, no enemy will be able to see his existence clearly. Only one. Blue lightning pass by, that's right. This person is Thunder Country, the supreme leader of Cloud Shinobi Village 4th Kazekage. Now, all the bounty ninjas that were recognized began to breathe in cold air. Their backs were chilling. It was incredible. Hiss, what's going on? This is Kazekage. No. Impossible. Unbelievable. How could Kazekage suddenly fall from the sky? Could it be that he also came to compete for Sharingan? All the bounty ninjas, their faces changed drastically at this moment, and were shocked by the sudden situation. And at the moment, somewhere in the distance, several intelligence ninjas from Cloud Shinobi Village, after seeing this screen, all of them suddenly jumped up with excitement. Yes, it's Lord 4th Generation. Oh my god, I didn't expect Master Kazekage to actually use Mabui's Tien Song technique to arrive here directly. There is hope. This time, Sharingan must belong to our Cloud Shinobi Village. Great. Great. Several Cloud Shinobi intelligence ninjas, their faces flushed, almost celebrating with their crowns. Everyone's face was filled with uncontrollable joy, and blood was surging in his chest, as if they had taken stimulants one by one. Although Kazekage's battle has not officially started at this moment, they did not have the slightest worry. Because the strength of 4th Kazekage does not need to be questioned. His existence is equivalent to the word undefeated. Sharingan. It has been basically confirmed that you can get it. However, just when they were delighted with the appearance of Kazekage. Naturally, some people have headaches. That was Shimura Danzo hiding in an abandoned building in the distance. From the very beginning, he has always been paying attention to everything on the battlefield, and naturally also clearly noticed the scenes that happened. At the beginning, when he saw that Might Guy was going to fight with all his strength, Danzo was still looking forward to it. After all, he also knows the powerful force of the forbidden technique called 8 Inner Gates. Danzo felt that he still had a chance to win, but then, when the 4th Kazekage wrapped in lightning fell from the sky from the beam of light, Danzo's old face completely changed in an instant, and his eyes were about to stick out. And many more. What happened? Advertisement 4th Kazekage, who is far away in the land of thunder. Why does it suddenly appear here? The way he just appeared. Is this time and space ninjutsu? Why? Danzo's hand gripped the side wall tightly. The green veins were exposed, almost completely squeezing the entire wall. His pupils were even more bloodshot. As Konan, his old opponent, Cloud Shinobi Village is so powerful that Danzo cannot be unaware of it. And the strength of 4th Kazekage, not to mention, I am afraid that in Konoha today, no one is his opponent at all. Even if the old guy Sarutobi Hiruzen came in person, he probably couldn't beat it. At least, in terms of speed and close combat, it is absolutely impossible for Sarutobi Hiruzen to beat this 4th Kazekage. And now, on the battlefield, the strength of Hitaki Kakashi and Might Guy, although not bad, but is too young. Read more at mtlarchive.com. At this time, whether it is combat experience or overall strength, it is absolutely impossible to beat 4th Kazekage, who is still in its heyday. They need to develop. But now, Sharingan is about to be taken away. Where is there still time for them to develop? Thought of here at this moment, Danzo almost gritted his teeth and was bleeding. Damn it, as long as my Mangekyo Sharingan is still there, you can use distinguished heavenly gods directly. But, now, everything is too late. Danzo's old face. Very ugly. And at this time, there is another person who is in the same situation as him. That was the masked male Afei on the roof of the building in the distance, watching the situation below. At this time, of course he was also shrinking his pupils, unbelievable. What? Fourth Kazekage actually dispatched himself. What happened? Cloud Shinobi Village is so eager to compete for Sharingan. The masked man frowned suddenly. I don't know how the Fox Ghost's strength compares to a person like Kazekage who is extremely good at close combat. However, no matter what, perhaps, the next step is to start preparing for a sneak attack at any time. The eyes of the masked man gleamed slightly. At this time, in the battlefield below, looking at Kazekage, Hollow's masked Qing Yu, who suddenly appeared in the front, naturally he was stunned. Of course he did not expect such a special situation. But just for a moment, he naturally reacted immediately. In Cloud Shinobi, the secretary of Kazekage, the female ninja named Mabui, mastered the space-time ninjutsu Tiasong technique. After realizing this, Qing Yu frowned and was speechless. What's the situation? If you don't come early or late, do you come here at this time? After finally passing the water release, Might Guy's 8 inner gate status is about to be forced out. As a result, you suddenly asked me to fall from the sky and interrupted him directly? It's so wicked. Kazekage, after looking at the tasks on the system interface. Qing Yu raised his eyes slightly and looked at fourth Kazekage in front of him, saying indifferently. Huh. Lightning-style chakra mode. It's really the first time I saw it, Kazekage of Cloud Shinobi Village. But, the battle between me and these two Konoha is going on, so I will bother you, leave it for now. How about giving me face? Qing Yu said lightly, trying to use the non-existent ability of face fruit. After all, he still wants to do the side tasks as soon as possible. Because this time, the rewards for the 2 side quests are very attractive. One is a special combat technique that combines Kido and white hits, Shunong, a powerful combat technique. The other one is the mysterious sword skill, Chaos Shueyuehua. Although it sounds similar to a skill in a 2-dimensional game, it seems to be very suitable for use in Hollow when used with Crescent Moon. It should be achieved. Very good effect. Qing Yu naturally didn't want to let this go, but at this time. After hearing Qing Yu's words, Kazekage's expression was still very casual. Advertisement. It seems that Qing Yu's hair is not red and there is no scar on his face. Therefore, Kazekage does not intend to give him any face. He just glanced at Kakashi and Guy on the side and said lightly. Huh, if the old man read it right, these 2 Konoha ninjas are already seriously injured, right? In this case, they don't have to participate in Sharingan's fight anymore, let the old man take over directly. Don't you want to fight? I'll do it and defeat you directly. Kazekage raised one hand and clenched his fist and said unquestionably. Although he doesn't seem to be too old at all, he has already begun to call himself an old man, and he doesn't know why. Hearing this, Qing Yu's brows suddenly wrinkled slightly. This guy, it seems that Ishin rushed to grab Sharingan. So, it seems to be a little more serious. Qing Yu's eyes moved slightly, gently raised the knife in his hand, looked at Kazekage in front of him, and said lightly. Come on then. I'm very curious about what the so-called blue lightning will look like. Hearing this, Kazekage's gaze suddenly lifted slightly. After that, all the blue thunder and lightning on his body suddenly became more activated, constantly tossing, bursting up and down in his body. He stared at Qing Yu, faintly said, then you don't blink. Because the battle is likely to end in an instant. Base. As soon as the voice fell, Kazekage's figure suddenly disappeared from the place. Just like a swift blue lightning passing by, his body suddenly appeared behind Qing Yu. Immediately, with a cold palm without any emotion, he shook it directly. Lightning-style lariat. Boom. The blasting thunder and lightning wrapped around his palm, directly towards the position of the back of Qing Yu's neck, and fell abruptly. Seeing this picture, everyone on the side suddenly stopped breathing, their pupils tightened. Quick. Too fast. This speed is so fast that it can't be described in words. If you have to describe it, there are only 4 words. Fast as lightning. Everyone looked terrified, staring closely at his lightning-style palm, and blasted directly at Qing Yu. That violent attack power, just staring at it makes people fearful. 3.7 Until this time, Qing Yu seemed to have not reacted at all, and he still stood still. Everyone's hearts jumped suddenly. What happened? Didn't it react? Could it be? The battle is about to end like this. But, just as everyone was thinking this way, in the next moment, an anomaly suddenly occurred. A scene that shocked everyone, including Kazekage, appeared. I saw his thunder palm hit the back of Qing Yu's neck accurately. However, suddenly and weirdly, there was a violent collision sound like steel. Boom. The thunder palm did hit Qing Yu, but he couldn't go down at all. But at this moment, Qing Yu, where he was hit, was completely unscathed. Seeing this picture, everyone froze instantly. What happened? And Kazekage's breathing suddenly stagnated, and his pupils shrank slightly. At this time, Qing Yu just turned his head slightly, calmly. He stared at fourth Kazekage in front of him in Hollow's fox ghost mask, and said faintly. This is your strength, Kazekage? Did you not eat before you came? As soon as the voice fell, everyone in the audience was all bewildered in an instant. Chapter 97. As you said, the battle will indeed end in an instant. Please subscribe, ===. Advertisement. Everyone who heard this, suddenly, all eyes widened, revealing an expression of horror like a ghost. Damn it. What's going on? This trick of Kazekage, lariat, obviously looks extremely destructive, but even his skin cannot be broken. Besides, he actually said, Raikage didn't eat? Everyone was dumbfounded, including the two of Might Guy and Kakashi on the side. After listening to these words, the heart suddenly tightened and completely stopped. The two of them are the closest, so they can naturally feel the powerful thunder and lightning power around Raikage when he takes the shot. However, but Qing Yu seemed to be blocking it with his body without doing anything. This is G ridiculous. And at this time, fourth Raikage looked at this weird picture, and after hearing Qing Yu's words, he had an instant heartbeat, and then suddenly anger rose. His temper is notoriously grumpy. In Cloud Shinobi Village, no one has ever dared to make him angry, let alone such a mockery. Raikage raised his eyebrows instantly, his face gloomy and angrily said, "Boy, you." However, he hadn't finished speaking yet. Suddenly, a change happened. However, seeing Qing Yu in front of him instantly raised the knife in his hand, almost without looking at it, he slashed directly at Raikage. The white light of the moon bloomed on the tip of the knife instantly, bombarding it directly, and the violent sword pressure instantly brought about the howling wind pressure. The crescent moon. Raikage's pupils shrank suddenly. He reacted almost instantaneously, his eyes flashed, shit. The whole person was like blue lightning, disappeared in the same place in an instant 25, and then appeared in another direction of Qing Yu. Boom. The slash directly blasted into the air, blasting on the ruins in the distance, directly blasting the boulders and bricks to smash. But at this time, the thunder that appeared in the distance did not stay at all, his eyes sank, and he raised his hand again, preparing to launch an attack toward this side. But at this moment, Qing Yu, who was still facing the other side just now, suddenly took another backhand and swung it over. There is almost no gap time, it is another ordinary crescent moon. Boom. The violent moon-white sword pressure came out again, almost replaying the old tricks, and directly bombed Raikage. Raikage's face suddenly changed slightly, he gritted his teeth abruptly, had to cancel the attack, and dodge again. Boom. The slash hit the afterimage of Raikage again, and hit the ground, causing the ground to shake. And this time, Raikage drew a distance from Qing Yu directly and came 10 meters away. His eyes sank suddenly, and his heart moved slightly. Humph, this guy, it really isn't that simple. Not only has the power to resist lariat, even, you can swing a knife at will and chop off such a terrifying attack. There is no doubt that he definitely possesses a level of strength comparable to that of a shadow class. Raikage thought so. At this time, Hitaki Kakashi, who was watching the battle, was stunned again. Because at that moment, he actually witnessed it with his own eyes. Qing Yu directly launched two crescent-shaped slashes with equal power in just 1 second. How can this be? Kakashi was stunned for a moment. He couldn't help but recalled his previous reasoning. What's going on? My inference, it should be completely correct. At that time, every time the crescent moon of the fox ghost rushed into the sky, it was true that there was a certain interval of time. But what is going on now? Advertisement since the recent crescent moon series Skychong, has he changed his skill status again? Could it be any special skills similar to Crescent Moon, Extreme Speed, or Crescent Moon Chaos? Kakashi thought hard, but he never thought that Qing Yu at that time was just deliberately releasing it into the sea. At this moment, the fox ghost Qing Yu slowly turned around, his eyes condensed slightly. The speed of fourth Raikage, sure enough, it deserves its reputation. It is almost close to the point where it is similar to the movement of spacetime ninjutsu. If you want to hit him with a simple slash, it's really difficult. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Worthy of having the name of Blue Lightning, it was indeed a little trickier than all the opponents Qing Yu had fought before. Of course, it's just a little bit, but it seems that if you don't use Bakudo, you have to use other methods to restrain him. Qing Yu's eyes flashed slightly. Of course he is not very good at using any Kido now. After all, there is this masked man in the distance, Uchiha Obito, who is staring here. As long as Bakudo uses it, there will be flaws, in other words. There must be another tactic to contain Raikage. Suddenly, Qing Yu had an idea in his heart. In just a moment, he immediately thought of an excellent strategy. You can give it a try. Thinking of this, Qing Yu suddenly raised the knife in his hand while looking at Raikage in front. After that, he suddenly chuckled and said loudly, "Tisk tisk. Mr. Raikage, what is going on? Didn't you just say something like the battle may end in an instant? Why are you hiding now? Is this the fighting style of the Cloud Shinobi ninjas? It seems, not as brave as Konoha." Qing Yu deliberately spoke these words provocatively in a yin and yang tone. The degree of ridicule is directly full, and it is the old Onmyoji at first glance. Sure enough, after hearing this, Raikage, who had always been irritable on the opposite side, suddenly his face sank and his eyes glared. The anger in my heart was ignited in an instant. The thunder and lightning on his body suddenly became more irritable, and it continued to explode. He gloomy eyes, gritted his teeth and stared at Qing Yu here, and then roared in anger. "Boy, you say what? We, Cloud Shinobi's ninja, are not as brave as Konoha? Fart. I want you to see the power of Cloud Shinobi today, old man. The front will defeat you." As soon as the voice fell. Boom. The thunder and lightning on his body blasted into the sky like a blast, and even his light yellow hair rushed upward in an instant. The degree of mania of thunder and lightning in the whole body is far more than 3 times the previous one. There is no doubt. He is really angry. At this moment, seeing this picture, all the people in the intelligence team of Cloud Shinobi Village in the distance suddenly changed their faces. They had never seen Master Raikage so angry, obviously. It was in that remark just now that the argument about Konoha aroused Raikage's strong dislike. The Kakashi, Guy and others on the side also showed a terrifying expression, and looked at him with their pupils tightened. Advertisement incredible. This terrifying sense of power. Is this the true strength of Blue Lightning Raikage? Bounty ninjas in the distance, seeing this picture. One by one, all the backs of the back were suddenly chilled, and they were all shocked. Raikage in an angry state, this sense of oppression, is too strong. It's almost completely different from before, and at this moment. Suddenly, in an instant Raikage's body instantly turned into a flash of lightning and disappeared directly in place. The next moment, he appeared directly in front of Qing Yu. The speed at this moment even completely surpassed the previous speed. The moment he appeared, he had already attacked. I saw a sharp blue lightning burst out of his palm, attached like a sword blade, madly and bursting. Ninjutsu lateral bolt of pain, lateral bolt of pain. Boom. With a fierce palm of the sword, he shouted directly at the mask on Qing Yu's face in front of him. Raikage's eyes burned with indignation, raging with anger, without the slightest hesitation. He decided to use this trick, completely smash the mask of the kid in front of you. Between the electric light and flint, his palm has reached the distance of the last 860 centimeters before the mask. But at this moment, the change suddenly occurred again. Just when his palm was about to hit the mask, he suddenly stopped. So froze in the air, Raikage's pupils shrank suddenly and his breathing stopped. But I don't know when, Qing Yu unexpectedly stretched out his hand and grabbed it directly on his right arm. A majestic mountain-like force was instantly uploaded from the arm, and it directly and forcibly interrupted his ninjutsu movement. Seeing this picture, it's not just Raikage. All the people present were stunned in an instant, their expressions changed drastically. How is this possible? With bare hands, did you catch Raikage's ninjutsu? Or the left hand? However, before they could react, suddenly, Qing Yu raised his head slightly, raised the moon-white sword in his right hand, and stared at Raikage with a light smile, and said, "As you said, the battle will indeed end in an instant." As soon as the voice fell, without any hesitation, Qing Yu immediately swung down the knife in his hand, and slashed directly at the Raikage in front of him, and the moon-white sword pressure burst out. Fourth Raikage's face changed suddenly, and he wanted to avoid it by moving fast lightning style. However, he suddenly discovered that because of the force on his arm, it came from the restraint of that huge force between Qing Yu's palm. At this moment, he can't move at all. Raikage's pupils shrank suddenly. Between the lightning and flint, the white crescent slash had already hit his body, and instantly broke through the layers of lightning style's defense that was wrapped around his body. Boom! Raikage's body, as if hit by a giant mountain, was instantly and directly blasted out. Flew upside down for tens of meters before hitting a pile of rubble. This moment, the audience. Deadly. Chapter 98. No matter how strong the Fox Ghost is, I will show you 5 to 5, seeking subscription, ===. Advertisement howling wind, as if it had become the only voice between heaven and earth at this moment. The moon-white sword glow flickered slightly, Qing Yu stood still, standing still. However, Raikage was still lying on the ruins in the distance, with a clearly visible bloodstain on his body. Master Raikage. In the distance, the Cloud Shinobi intelligence team members who saw this picture were all shocked and pale in an instant. How can this be? Master Fourth Raikage, unexpectedly, was knocked down. No, it's impossible. All of them gritted their teeth at once, barely hesitating, and at the same time they jumped out and rushed in the direction of Raikage. Raikage is the strongest pillar of Cloud Shinobi Village. If he really happens to have any accidents here, the consequences will be disastrous. Several people rushed forward, their faces looked very ugly. At this time, the other ninjas watching the battle were all stupid, staring at the front, completely frozen in place. What happened? Rage Raikage's full blow, unexpectedly, was interrupted by this Fox Ghost with the left hand. Even the high-speed movement of lightning-style chakra can't dodge. Countless people began to breathe in cold air, and only felt that their backs were chilling. Everyone knows the power of Raikage, but never expected. In the face of the majestic power of this Fox Ghost, Raikage's power actually looks so fragile. At this time, the most shocked people were naturally Konoha's few people. Whether it's Kakashi and Guy, Shimura Danzo who is hiding, or the Anbu team members who have been watching fish around. At this moment, they were all dumbfounded. The sudden change in the battle situation is like a roller coaster, which almost completely interrupts their thoughts and their brains are blank. Not long ago, when they saw Raikage descend on the battlefield with great power, they were naturally very anxious. After all, Raikage's strength is unmatched, and it is very likely that Konoha will be crushed in this battle and take away all of the Sharingan. In that case, Konoha will be at a complete disadvantage. But now, no one can think of it. Even if it is the incomparable Raikage, in front of this Fox Ghost Qing Yu, it still can't reach a few rounds. His true strength. How terrifying. Shimura Danzo's old face was locked tightly, his eyes split. Completely misguided, and at this time, of course, there is also the masked man in secret who feels a fault about the situation. Seeing that the lightning on Raikage was severed by a knife, he suddenly shrank in your heart and froze directly. The strength of this monster, has reached this level. Even Raikage, known as the Blue Lightning, can't survive these short rounds. What happened? The masked man suddenly sank his face, his eyes flickered. There is no doubt that the current situation, has exceeded expectations. Originally, he planned to follow the plan Qing Yu said, after waiting for the fox ghost to be exhausted, then make a sneak attack. But now, exhausted, do not make jokes. That fox ghost was just like taking a drug, and there was no sign of fatigue at all. I'm afraid I can play all day, right? Thought of here. The gaze of the masked man glanced at Qing Yu next to him slightly. I wanted to see his solemn look. The result was unexpected. At this moment, Qing Yu dared to look down leisurely with his complexion still, his eyes calm. The corner of his mouth even, with a slight smile. Advertisement? Seeing this picture, the masked man was stunned. And many more. What's the situation? After seeing this fox ghost so powerful, this fellow Qing Yu can actually laugh. This is so poisonous. Shouldn't this guy is still confident that he can make a good fight with the fox ghost? Thought of here, the masked man suddenly moved his mind. Read more at mtlarchive.com. After that, he immediately switched his tone to the mode of internefe, leaned to Qing Yu's side and asked, "Huh? Senior Qing Yu? Are you laughing? But obviously the enemy seems to be very strong. Senior, are you really sure? Can you tie him?" The masked man asked slightly questioning. Qing Yu had mentioned the topic of 50-50 strength before. At that time, the masked man naturally believed more. But now, after seeing the power of more fox ghosts, he couldn't help but start to doubt. "Qing Yu, are you bragging?" That's why he has this question. As soon as the voice fell, Lingwu Qing Yu returned to God, looked at the masked man in front of him, suddenly raised his eyes slightly, and chuckled very casually. "Hey, just this kind of strength, can it be called ridiculously strong? Let me tell you that, no matter how strong the fox ghost is, I can still show you 5 to 5, believe it or not." "I believe it. This is absolutely damn bragging, right?" The corners of the masked man's mouth twitched slightly, and then he didn't want to speak anymore. He found out, sometimes, talking to Qing Yu is just a torture. Afterwards, he once again looked at the bottom of the battlefield. And at this time, the 3 Cloud Shinobi intelligence ninjas also quickly rushed to the side of Raikage on the ruins and looked anxiously. Sure enough, on Raikage's chest and abdomen, a striking bloodstain was shocking. But at this time, Raikage did not pass out, rather, he was clenching his teeth slightly, raising his hands on his abdomen, and using his lightning-style chakra to quickly stop the bleeding. Seeing this operation, Cloud Shinobi were all shocked. This, as expected of Lord Raikage, physical fitness is too terrifying. They have all been injured to this degree, so they can still stop bleeding with chakra by themselves. Hiss, and at this moment, Raikage's hemostasis procedure has also been completed. He didn't care about the several Cloud Shinobi ninjas beside him, but slowly got up from the ruins and looked at Qing Yu solemnly. After a long silence, he lowered his eyes and said in a low voice. "Huh, that's right, kid, I admit your strength. Whether it is power, speed, or precise judgment, you are enough to be the shadow of any Shinobu village. But I'm very curious, what kind of power you have? Is the blood succession bounded, or is it a secret technique?" "Let's talk about it," Raikage asked, squinting slightly. As the first person who resisted his lightning-style attack with his body and caused such damage to his body. Eyes Aran became full of curiosity about Qing Yu. Advertisement. Hearing this, the people around him were a little dumbfounded when he waited. At this moment, he suddenly started to inquire about information. However, some people's eyes moved slightly. No, it's not right. He didn't just ask for information. At the same time, he was still secretly securing his chakra and the injuries in his body, as expected of Raikage. At this time, opposite Raikage, what everyone doesn't know is. After hearing these words, under Qing Yu's mask, he grinned lightly and revealed a smile. "Oh, someone finally asked this question, it's not bad. It's not too late, it just so happens that it can be integrated with the future plan." Thought of here, Qing Yu deliberately raised his chin, smiled, deliberately amplified the voice, and said loudly. It seems that someone finally started to notice my secret technique. What a keen observation, but I'm sorry, in our Shu Yigong rules, it is not allowed to disclose too much information about the ancient secret art scroll to the outside world. Otherwise, the leader will blame it, Qing Yu said loudly, as if he was afraid that there would be no hearing around. However, as soon as these words came out, there was no time, the audience was silent. Raikage Ayu on the side, Shimura Danzo in the distance, and Uchiha Obito, the masked man in the dark, were all stunned at this moment. And many more. What did he say? Suya Palace. Ancient secret art scroll? Leader? A series of brand new nouns instantly defeated everyone's worldview? The audience was as silent as ice. How can this be? This fox ghost with such terrifying power comes from an organization called Shu Yi Gong. And, there is a leader above him. With such a powerful strength as him, he will be restrained by other people. Hiss. Everyone was stunned. This answer is something they have never imagined. And, what surprised them even more was that an important piece of information just mentioned in the fox ghost's mouth ancient secret art scroll. Could it be that all these strange powers in his body now come from those ancient secret art scrolls? Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Realizing this, countless bounty ninjas suddenly contracted their hearts suddenly, and they couldn't help but rush into blood. Doesn't that mean, as long as we find a way to get these secret art scrolls, we, maybe become so strong? Many bounty ninjas had no hope for Sharingan's fight. However, this fox ghost accidentally revealed the information about the ancient secret art scroll. Suddenly they completely caught their attention. Everyone's eyes are staring at Qing Yu in front of him at this moment. Very hot. Chapter 99. Do you want my treasure? Go find it. For subscription equals. Advertisement. Even the well-informed Shimura Danzo and Reikajai and others. At this moment, they couldn't help being stunned. Shuyi Palace. Such a powerful mysterious organization. Before that, they had never heard of. And these powerful ancient secret techniques mastered by fox ghosts are also unheard of by them. Could it be that, have these powerful forces been deliberately erased from history? Everyone was horrified without a doubt. And at this time, in the other direction, at the edge of the black market, the two tightly wrapped figures were also staring here at the moment, their expressions in horror. The two of them are the two Jonin from Iwagakure, the land of Earth. Terracotta and Wanya. Originally, they came to the Fire Land to investigate the situation of the Uchiha clan in Konoha village. But not long ago, they received an urgent call from Tsuchikage Onoki. Inform them to come to the black market for rewards in Jinyu City immediately. It is said that here, a person wearing a fox ghost mask is using the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan to declare war on all bounty ninjas. The two of them were given the mission to defeat the fox ghosts and capture Sharingan for the land of the earth. However, they never expected, just when they arrived here and were ready to challenge, suddenly, they saw the scene of fourth Raikage falling from the sky. In an instant, both of them were dumbfounded. Although they are very strong, they are not stupid enough to dare to compare with Raikage. Therefore, they continued to choose to watch the fire from the shore, and wanted to see if they could fish in troubled waters while Raikage defeated the fox ghost. However, what happened next made them completely froze. I saw that the powerful fourth Raikage was directly restrained by this fox ghost with one hand, and then he was slashed away with a single sword. How do we call this TM? 860. At that time, Kaito and Wenya immediately glanced at each other, and each other's eyes were shocked. The word, give up, appeared in the hearts of the two at the same time. Joke. People who can kill blue lightning in a flash, isn't it the same as playing to kill them in a flash? I'm afraid that only the old Tsuchikage of his own family is here to be qualified to fight him. But then, when the two were about to leave directly, suddenly, the information about the Zai Palace and the ancient secret art scroll was accidentally revealed by the fox ghost. The hearts of the two of them suddenly moved, and then, at the same time their expressions became serious. An extremely dangerous guy like the fox ghost, unexpectedly comes from an organization called Shuyi Gong. Kaito's eyes suddenly sank, he slowly exhaled, and said solemnly. Wenya, it seems that this time, we didn't come in vain. It happened to have learned such terrifying information. We must hurry up to inform the village, such a dangerous organization, if it conflicts with us, the consequences are unpredictable. There are also those so-called ancient secret art scrolls, maybe, are the ultimate existence no less than Sharingan, and you must also pay attention. All eyes were focused on the body of the fox ghost Qing Yu. Even Raikage, Kakashi and others, all stared at Qing Yu closely, and they didn't know what they were thinking about. At this time, Qing Yu naturally felt the strangeness in their looks, and couldn't help showing a satisfied smile. Really, those previous battles were not in vain at all. The plan was a success. Advertisement. So, next words. Should we finish all the side tasks by the way, or should we just remove the people and leave? Qing Yu thought slightly. In fact, just after he slashed Raikage, he also completed a side mission. In the hollow state, beat 4th Raikage 1/1 of lightning style chakra mode, completed. Reward. Reiatsu plus 5000, hollow experience plus 2000, Mal points plus 1000. However, the rewards for this task are quite normal, and there are no big surprises. Naturally, Qing Yu still wants to witness Kakashi's Kamui and Might Guy's 8 inner gates once, so as to get those two special rewards. But at this moment, read more at mtlarchive.com. Suddenly, in a situation that Qing Yu did not expect, the system's prompt sound suddenly sounded abruptly. Ding, kindly remind host. Your props, portable righteous corpses, will face depletion of spiritual power, remaining time, 10 minutes. Quote. As soon as the voice fell, Qing Yu's eyes flashed slightly. Damn it, what's the situation? The spiritual power of Yimukuro's clone is going to be exhausted. Qing Yu raised his eyebrows slightly, and looked at the building roof imperceptibly. He just remembered, portable righteousness is actually not a permanent item. Although Reiatsu is injected into it, it will form a clone with exactly the same appearance. But after all, it is not the body, as long as it exists, it will face continuous loss of spiritual power. And when all the spiritual power is exhausted, the portable righteous corpse will explode directly and cease to exist. The duration marked in the system is 480 minutes, which is 8 hours. But now, there are only 10 minutes left. Qing Yu suddenly moved slightly in his heart, and couldn't help but chuck helplessly. Unexpectedly, this time Hollow's trouble-making plan, nearly 8 hours have passed, and the time is really fast. If this is the case, it seems that I can't stay here anymore. Must find an opportunity immediately, remove Hollow, and then re-exchange the status. Otherwise, the avatar of Yimao on the side of the masked man is about to be exposed directly. That would be boring. He Qing Yu, although occasionally likes to make things secretly. However, they also yearn for a leisurely life. At least for now, he still just wants to be an ordinary Akatsuki office worker. Daily fish in the organization, by the way, do the side tasks of the system to increase Reiatsu, living out your own game life, isn't it good? If you want to be salty, you can be salty, and you can fight if you want to. This is Qing Yu's forbearance. So now, let's just come to the end of the final plan. Thought of here, Qing Yu suddenly decided to play his acting skills. When everyone's eyes were on him, he suddenly tilted his head slightly and made an appearance of listening. Seeing this gesture, he seemed to hear something. However, the people around are a bit stunned. What happened? Is there any sound? Why can't I hear? And at this moment, suddenly, Qing Yu shook his head for a short time, seeming to be very helpless, and said to himself, it's really a coincidence. It seems that because I just said something that shouldn't be said, I have to be called back by the leader. Quote. It seems that today's pleasure will end here. But regarding the Sharingan I promised to you, it's a pity, no one seems to succeed. Advertisement. Said with a chuckle, Qing Yu raised his hand and moved suddenly. Immediately afterwards, I saw a pile of square containers, instantly appearing on Qing Yu's palm. Under Reiatsu's action, all of them floated. There are almost dozens of boxes. Seeing this picture, everyone present was taken aback. Immediately afterwards, they all became stiff, everyone's complexion suddenly changed, and their pupils shrank. And many more. What's going on? So many containers. Inside, are they all Sharingan from the Uchiha clan? No way. What the hell? Did you hollow out Konoha's Uchiha clan's eyes? Everyone is stupid. Even Fourth Kazekage, seeing this picture, couldn't help feeling shocked. This is more than 10 times more than what he imagined. However, at this time, after seeing the appearance of these Sharingan, Shimura Danzo and Uchiha Obito, who were hiding in the dark, became even more distraught and angry. This B************************************ D. All of Uchiha's Sharingan. Sure enough, they are all in the hands of his B***************** D. What about now? What did this guy want to do when he took it out at this time? Both of them stared at the bottom closely, and the veins were exposed. The masked man Obito gritted his teeth directly, his eyes were sharp, and he was ready to start Kamui at any time. But at this moment, suddenly, I saw the fox ghost Qing Yu below, gently raised his left hand, and lightly knocked on the air around him. It's like the sound of a broken mirror. The next moment, a black space crack suddenly appeared beside him. What exudes inside is endless nothingness. Quote question mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Seeing this picture, all the people suddenly stopped breathing and froze stiffly. This, time-space ninjutsu. And Uchiha Obito, his heart shrank suddenly. How is this possible? Actually it is the space-time ninjutsu that can directly break the surrounding space barriers. Could it be? In the beginning, this guy ran out of my Kamui space directly in this way. For an instant, Obito only felt it suddenly realized, but his heart was also shocked in an instant. Reikage, Kakashi, Danzo and others below all stared at him, not knowing what he was going to do. At this moment, the eyes of everyone in the audience were once again focused on the fox ghost Qing Yu. And Qing Yu chuckled lightly. Holding all Sharingan in his hands, he stepped leisurely into the black cavity. Afterwards, he turned around, smiled at everyone, and said loudly. Want my treasure? If you want, I will give it to you. Let's find. Whether it is Uchiha's Sharingan or the ancient secret art scroll, I put everything there. If you find someone in the Shuyi Palace, you can control all this. Quote. Chapter 100 Konoha's life is not so easy. For subscription ===. Advertisement. The voice fell. Before anyone could react, the cracks in the black cavity instantly moved closer, merged into one, and finally closed completely. The air returned to its original appearance. The white fox ghost figure also disappeared in front of everyone. The cold wind blows. Roll up the dust. It seems that everything is attributable to calm. However, after listening to the words just now, none of the people present was at peace. All the people are breathing stagnant, and the blood in their hearts is churning. Qing Yu's words seem to still be in their minds. Sharingan. Scroll of ancient secret art. He put all these treasures of his own in the Shuyi Palace. And anyone, as long as they find the Shuyi Palace, can control all this. Such a hugely attractive words. Only for a moment. All the bounty ninjas in the entire Jinyu city immediately boiled. Great, we still have a chance. Oh, I heard you right. The fox ghost took the initiative to ask us to find his treasure. Ha 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 ha. It seems that it's time for us to compete for speed. Next, who can find the position of the Zai Palace is almost equivalent to possessing half the wealth of the ninja world. My little gangster will definitely find all this first. Fart. My Sasaki babe is the man who will have all these treasures. Shu Yi Gong. My Miyamoto Fu Shiming is coming The originally silent Jinyu city. At this moment, it was like being ignited, and the voice was full of voices. Countless bounty ninjas have all changed their goals into one at the same time, that is, looking for the Night Palace. At this time, after seeing this screen, Reikage, Kakashi and others on the battlefield suddenly froze, and their complexions became complex. It is clear, the reason why the fox ghost said such words is to actively arouse their desire to explore and find the Zai Palace. But what are the benefits of doing this? After this mysterious fox ghost suddenly appeared and disappeared suddenly, what was the purpose, on Earth? No one knows. But, one thing is certain now, that is, all the people present have become losers. Neither Konoha nor Cloud Shinobi succeeded in capturing Sharingan. Quote. Thinking of this, Raikage suddenly gritted his teeth, then looked at the several intelligence team ninjas beside him, gritted his teeth heavily. Hey, let's go. Return to Cloud Shinobi village. Ah, yes. The intelligence ninja on the side was taken aback for a moment, and then hurriedly answered. Immediately supporting Raikage with a dull expression left and right, he began to slowly walk towards the outside of the field. And at this time, no one dared to step forward to stop it. On the battlefield, Kakashi and Guy glanced at each other, their eyes a little helpless. This time, it was very weird from beginning to end. Even the way the fox ghost finally left was extremely weird. As if, he is deliberately declaring something like. After a moment of silence, Kakashi shook his head helplessly, letting go of the clutter in his heart. Advertisement. Although he was suspicious a lot. But now, obviously it's not the time to think about this. Regardless of now that he and Guy are injured, Danzo has also been beaten into the air, and now that Sharingan disappeared is the most important thing to care about. After all, if these Sharingans are really found by Cloud Shinobi or Rock Shinobi, then, the consequences will be disastrous. He must return to Konoha immediately and discuss the current situation with Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. Thought of here, Kakashi raised his head, looked at Guy beside him, and said. Quote. Let's go and see how Master Danzo is. As he said, Kakashi lifted up and walked towards the dilapidated building where Shimura Danzo was in front. Read more at mtlarchive.com. However, he hasn't waited for 2 steps yet. I saw Shimura Danzo, and suddenly walked out of it in an undamaged state. At this moment, his whole body is clean, without the slightest scar or dust, just like when he had just set off from Konoha village. Seeing this picture, Kakashi suddenly lost his eyes and was silly. What's the situation? Even Guy and I couldn't resist the aftermath of the crescent moon. Shimura Danzo had a full hair, but it was completely okay. Moreover, what is going on with this clean and tidy look? I can't tell that I've been beaten on the battlefield at all. Could it be that this grandson took advantage of the gap in the fight just now and hid and took a bath? Just when Kakashi was puzzled, Shimura Danzo was already sullen and walked in front of a few people. Subsequently, he hardly said anything, just a gloomy face, very unwilling to say. Go, return to Konoha. This sentence, he gritted his teeth, almost shaking with anger. Normal Sharingan scramble, they completely exceeded his expectations at the beginning. Not only did he get a second in the start, Mangekyo Sharingan was blinded, and even Kakashi and Guy, who are the Konoha elite, were hanged and beaten all the way. What is even more bizarre is that even the Raikage, who is known for his great power, has never beaten the Fox Ghost in the end. On the contrary, he was chopped off with a knife. It was unbelievable. Danzo walked forward, clenching his fists ugly. He has no idea how to continue the fight. Is it true that for those Sharingan, is it really going to find the so-called ethereal existence of the Void Knight Palace? He does not know. However, what he knows is, returning to Konoha this time, the old guy Sarutobi Hiruzen will definitely throw the pot to him again because of this. Thinking of this, Danzo's face was even more gloomy. And behind him, Kakashi and Guy wanted Anbu several people, and they all followed in silence, and finally left the battlefield. Their figure looks more frustrated than Raikage and others. After all, Cloud Shinobi Village is at best that Raikage was injured a bit, and it did not bring actual negative effects. However, Konoha is different. Anyone who sees so many Sharingan just now will inevitably begin to think of a fact. That is the demise of the Konoha Uchiha clan. And once they confirmed it, I am afraid that Konoha's life will not be easy in the future. Same. At this moment, on the rooftop of a distant building. After seeing the Fox Ghost mask disappear with a weird time and space ninjutsu, the masked man was also stunned for a long time. All this is like a dream to him. Ask for flowers. Advertisement. After hearing the news from the beginning, until now the disappearance of the Fox Ghost, he has no sense of participation in everything in between. The only thing that has progressed a little is one thing. That is, he successfully verified that Jintong Qing Yu is not the White Fox Ghost. But, now it seems, what is the use of verification? Sharingan is lost. The capture plan failed completely. Thought of here, the masked man couldn't help but glanced at Qing Yu who was aside, with a trace of unspeakable complex emotions in his eyes. When he found Qing Yu at the beginning, he wanted Qing Yu to go directly to the hard steel, and go to the PvP with the Fox Ghost to snatch Sharingan directly. As a result, he didn't expect that the inferences and plans that Qing Yu said would make him crippled in an instant. So he chose to believe in Qing Yu, watching the battle before talking. Result, who really wanted to get it, until the end, this bragging Qing Yu still didn't make a move at all. Still saying that they are 50-50 with the Fox Ghost. Can kill a person of this kind alone. It's just farting. Doesn't this guy really think that I'm just an Akatsuki intern, so he brags casually in front of me? 0. Thinking of this, the masked man gritted his teeth suddenly, a little regretful. Then, if he is decisive and runs directly after the shot, there may still be a certain chance of getting it. But now, there is no chance at all. Just listen to the words before the Fox Ghost disappeared. This guy seems to have no plans to come out in a short time. Even the precious Sharingan was regarded by this guy as having fun, and became a reward for finding the Palace of the Night. Tisk. The masked man frowned slightly, his expression complicated. This Zai Palace. When did it appear? Who are there? Where is the location? None of this information is known. It seems that the next step is to start to inquire about it slowly. Never let this organization affect the normal progress of Project Tasuki no Mi. The eyes of the masked man gleamed slightly. And at this time, what no one noticed is, among the crowd of passionate and excited bounty ninjas, there was one person who covered his face with a hood. The corners of his mouth suddenly turned up slowly, revealing a sullen smile. That pale skin, thin figure, and sinister breath. It is the scientist Orochimaru. Now, under the hood, his eyes were shining intensely, the corners of his mouth rose wildly, and the smile on his face was almost full of excitement. Perfect. Such a terrifying stalwart power is simply perfect. With the power of one person, he singled out Konoha Shuangji and cut down Raikage, who has the name of Blue Lightning. It turns out, is this the real strength of Zai Palace? It's really scary. Orochimaru's heart was extremely excited. At this moment, almost all of the countless questions in his heart were answered perfectly. After a while, Orochimaru slowly turned around and walked out of the crowd, feeling very happy. Zai Palace, this powerful organization that looks terrifying and mysterious to the outside world. He, Orochimaru, will soon be fortunate to be one of them. Only 15 bands. It's done. Chapter 101. This is so much worse than me. For subscription ===. Advertisement. At the same time, the other side. Qing Yu, who walked through the black cavity, stood on the path of Link C, smiled and raised his hand to relieve the hollow base. The color on his body began to slowly dip back to its normal appearance. The fox ghost mask on his face turned into a moon-white spirit and gradually disappeared, revealing his handsome face again. The clothes on his body also automatically switch immediately. From the elegant white Zai Palace costume, it reappeared and turned back to the big Akatsuki organization red cloud and black robe. The sword at the waist also changed from the bright white to the normal black scabbard and silver blade. Call. After releasing all this, Qing Yu suddenly exhaled slowly with a smile on his face. In this way, the start of the Shuyi Palace plan was finally completed. Not surprisingly, I am afraid that it will not be long before the popularity of the Shuyi Palace will begin to expand rapidly, and its influence will be greatly enhanced. In addition, the amount of his own rewards will also start to rise rapidly, and the rewards of those series of side missions will also be stabilized. The needle does not poke. This time just hacking a fourth Raikage was enough to spread directly in the ninja world, leaving a lot of rumors. In other words, I can finally rest for a while. For a long time to come, I'm afraid I won't need to come forward in this capacity again. Have to say, although the look after hollow is fashionable and worth flying high, it is still more comfortable now. Just when Qing Yu was thinking about it, at this moment, the system's prompt sound also sounded in my mind at the right time. Ding. Congratulations host. You have successfully fought the first battle of Thikshu Yi Gong, in the world of ninja. Your popularity has greatly increased, and your influence has increased significantly. Current level of influence. LV.1 slightly rising. Influence breakthrough reward. Alien summoning Jillian Manos Grand X 10 inches. Quote. Question mark exclamation mark quote. As soon as the prompt sound fell, Qing Yu's heart suddenly moved and was stunned. Damn. There is another strange summoning technique. From the last time the big dog's Bankai black rope scourge Ming Wang, to the present 10 Jillian Manos Grande. Isn't this F******** G ridiculous? Qing Yu was a little bit dumbfounded for a while. This kind of thing, is summoning coming out to specially bring the hard steel tail beast? No, there are Big Buddha and Susuo. In the later stage, it was really a Gundam battle in the NM ninja world. After a little thought, Qing Yu shook his head, smiled and turned off the system interface. Naturally now is not the time to consider this. After all, the portable righteous corpse outside should soon run out of spiritual power, and he must immediately change his identity. Thinking of this, Qing Yu opened the black chamber. He positioned the open position of the black chamber directly behind the roof of the building, behind a wall. It's about 10 meters away from the center of the rooftop. What to do next? Just let Qing Yu walk over directly from there. Then, after entering the wall, when approaching the main body, Qing Yu directly shot to remove the corpse of justice, and it could easily disappear. Then, the main body continued to walk forward from behind the wall. Everything was successfully completed. This kind of operation sounds very complicated, but in fact, it is just a thing that can be replaced by a single thought, and it is very simple. At this time, on the rooftop, after the masked man was silent for a while, he decided to go back to Rain Shinobi Village. We need to discuss with Pen Konan and the others about this, Vulture Palace. Never let the Tail Beast collection plan go wrong. Thought of here, the masked man switched to a phase voice mode again, looked at Qing Yu, and said. Now, senior, shall we return to Rain Shinobi Village now? It doesn't seem to be interesting here anymore. Advertisement. After all, senior, you don't have the ability to find that fox ghost, right? The masked man A-Fei said so deliberately. Qing Yu's behavior of fishing for a long time made him naturally very unhappy in his heart. However, it should not be too obvious. As soon as the voice fell, Qing Yu just raised his eyebrows slightly, and said with a very relaxed smile. Okay, let's go then. As soon as the voice fell, he turned around without hesitation, and walked straight ahead without any hesitation. Putting his hands in Akatsuki Pao's pockets, he walked leisurely. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Quote. Seeing his relaxed and happy back, the masked man's face suddenly turned black to the extreme. This NM Qing Yu, is it poisonous? When I asked you to go down to deal with the fox ghost, why didn't you see you so active? As soon as you say you want to return to Rain Shinobi Village, will you leave without saying a word? This is so much worse than me. And, what's going on when you look so relaxed? He promised me to go down and help defeat the fox ghost and grab Sharingan, but now I don't have any of them. Don't you feel ashamed? The face of the masked man was gloomy, and he was completely speechless for a while. However, at this time, what he didn't know was, in just 2 seconds after Qing Yu passed through that wall, the identity replacement was completed. The righteous corpse Qing Yu disappeared, and the ontology Qing Yu officially returned. However, since Qing Yu always controls his breath well, naturally, the masked man did not notice this subtle operation. After a moment of silence, he followed. The order in Jinyu City began to return to normal once again. And at this time, the 2 men in big Akatsuki robes came to the address on the battlefield not long ago. The breeze passed by, and it was desolate. It is the part-time duo of Akino who wants to rush over to make money, Kakuzu, and Fujiwara. At this moment, seeing the scene in front of them, the 2 of them were immediately dumbfounded. Fujiwara frowned and said, "What's the matter, Kakuzu? Are we late?" As soon as the voice fell, Kakuzu's face suddenly darkened, then he let out a soft snort, and then said, "Hey, really bad luck. If we hadn't met those tricky guys on the road, we might have been able to get over soon." Quote. That's right. After receiving the news, Kakuzu, as one of the bounty ninjas, naturally prepared to rush over immediately. But on the road, he was stopped by a group of former enemies. No way, he had no choice but to defeat those enemies with Fujiwara, and then rushed over. But did not expect, when they rushed here, all the people left the tea cold. Quote. After a moment of silence, the miscellaneous fish face Fujiwara waved his hand and said, "If that's the case, forget it. Let's go and go back." As soon as the voice fell, above Kakuzu's expression, naturally there is still some unwillingness. This is a full 90 million taels of high-level rewards. It's a shame not to make any money. However, what he didn't know was, if he really arrived, he might be greeted with a violent beating. Maybe, you have to lose a few new hearts. Advertisement. After all, in Qing Yu's series of side quests, there is still a side quest hanging on all the time, which is to destroy the 5 hearts of Kakuzu. But these are foreign words. At this time, in the distant Konoha village, inside the Naruto office, people who had returned from Jinyu City welcomed the 4 Anbu 4-man squad that had fished all over the court. Of course, needless to say, they returned to the team shortly after returning. Shimura Danzo, even without even coming to Hokage's office, went straight back to himself, shut the door, and no one was seen. Therefore, there are only 2 people standing at the desk now. Hatake Kakashi, Might Guy, and at this time, there is another person in the office. That is Konoha's talented military division, Nara Shikahisa. He stood beside 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, unsmiling. Originally, he was here to discuss other important tasks. But did not expect, I just ran into Kakashi and Guy who came back here to report. Then, Sarutobi Hiruzen asked him to stay here to listen and help analyze the situation by the way. After all, when it comes to tactical thinking and overall thinking, there are few people in Konoha that can compare with Naruto. Therefore, Sarutobi Hiruzen is naturally very relieved of him. At this time, looking at the injuries of the 2 people in different degrees, after listening to their description of the battlefield just now, Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned immediately, his face extremely ugly. Tisk, I didn't expect the situation to be so difficult. Shuyi Palace, a powerful ninja who can easily defeat 4th Raikage. This kind of terrifyingly powerful organization, we have never heard of it at all. Sarutobi Hiruzen muttered incredulously, his eyes complicated. The passing of Sharingan, it made him feel helpless about the situation in front of him. Even a little anxious. And at this moment, Naruto frowned slightly and analyzed carefully. This organization, suddenly appearing at this time, it is very likely, has some kind of special purpose. And, as far as I guess, the position of the so-called Shuyi Gong is also very likely to be hidden in a ninja village with a strength of 3.7. It is a force they secretly cultivated. Quote. For example, the mysterious Mist Shinobi, the low-key Sand Shinobi, or the Rock Shinobi who has always looked forward to it. Since I didn't see them this time, it's all possible. Quote. Question mark exclamation mark quote. As soon as he said this, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes shrank suddenly. Nodded involuntarily. Naruto's eyes were dimmed, and she continued. This ninja world is really going to start to change. It must be as the Fox Ghost said, prepare to use Konoha's power and start looking for the location of the Zai Palace. Naruto said solemnly, with a firm tone. All in all, Lord Sarutobi. Quote. While murmured quietly, Konoha will not fall into passiveness. Chapter 102 Kishimoto is a manga painter, knows a hammer and Hokage, subscription required == Advertisement. The beginning of a new era. It always takes some people to pay a certain price. Or blood, or life. Just like the 3 ninja wars back then. Every war often brings brand new changes to this ninja world. And the price, either the blood of countless ninjas, or the death of the shadow. But this time, it was completely different. A new era, after that small-scale war capital, is unknowingly opening. Shu Yi Palace. This vocabulary, which had never appeared before, quickly spread to the entire ninja world in just a few days. The countless bounty ninjas in Qing Yu City, like migrating locusts, quickly moved towards various places in the ninja world. Some people felt that since the members of the Zai Palace appeared in the Country of Fire, their true location must be in the Country of Fire, so they rushed toward the various forest canyons. Others felt that a place like Zai Palace that had never been heard of must be in an extremely remote location, so they decided to enter the distant water country with their own risk. Others think that since the fox ghost is wearing a snow-white suit and holding a katana to fight, it must have something to do with his identity, so they chose to go to the samurai country covered by heavy snow, the Country of Iron. All in all, countless bounty ninjas, while acting, quickly unintentionally revealed the information about the Palace of the Night. Even many ordinary ninjas will use this as a source of conversation. However, what they don't know is, even the few ninja villages who are giants in the ninja world have also begun to take action. First of all, it is the Land of Thunder. After successfully returning to Cloud Shinobi Village, Raikage, after discussing with the Secretary Abuyi and others, immediately found the name of Thunder Country. Later, after close discussion, together they decided to mobilize the power of the entire Kingdom of Thunder, and began to search for the whereabouts of the virtual Night Palace and the Fox Ghost in the world of ninja. The name of Thunder Country has always been very assured of Cloud Shinobi Village, so it was naturally left to Raikage to handle it. Of course, the people below cannot have any objections. After that, Iwagakure, the country of soil. After returning to the village, the Terracotta and Wanya immediately told Tsuchikage Onoki everything they saw and heard. However, after listening to this always stable old man couldn't help but become anxious. Is there someone who can defeat Fourth Raikage so easily? This is a bit exaggerated, right? Even if he has the bloodline elimination and does escape beyond the limits of bloodline, he dare not pack the votes and say that he will definitely win Raikage. Are those ancient secret art scrolls really that strong? Or, this Shu Yi Palace really holds some unknown power? Adhering to the idea of, I would rather be trusted than what is untrustworthy, Onoki decided to take action in the end, of course. After all, not to mention the secret art scroll, there are so many Sharingan. As long as you get a hand, it is equivalent to adding a Uchiha family to the village out of thin air. As long as that powerful force is played well, it won't be a problem to push the ninja world horizontally in the future. Therefore, not long after, Tsuchikage Onoki personally issued an order to directly change the primary task of the intelligence ninjas in the village to the investigation of the Palace of the Night. And the rest of Konoha village, of course, needless to say. At the suggestion of military advisor Nara Shiraku, Sarutobi Hiruzen also decided to take action. However, they differed from the other 2 ninja villages in that they had to find ways to guard against other ninja villages in addition to looking for Zunshu Night Palace. After all, the Uchiha genocide may soon begin to be confirmed. By the time, what will happen is hard to say. Then, Konoha, who had been leisurely for a long time, started to get busy again. Advertisement. And at this time, back to Qing Yu in Rain Shinobi Village. Looking at the rising popularity of the Shu Yi Palace on the system interface, he grinned suddenly and revealed a satisfied smile. The plan this time can be said to be a perfect ending. Except for Kurigakure, the country of closed waters, and Sand Shinobi, the country of weak wind, it can be said that the entire ninja world as inevitable earth coiling has entered. Whether it is popularity or influence, it is increasing day by day, without any stagnation. And next, Qing Yu just needs to be a salted fish, just stay in Rain Shinobi Village and spend some time in Rain Shinobi Village. Finally no longer need to act in the name of a fox ghost. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Qing Yu chuckled lightly, pushing open the door of the room gently, propped up an umbrella, and walked out. The light rain is hazy, covering Rain Shinobi Village. Qing Yu's leisurely figure, going away step by step, finally, hidden in the rain. Time, like a white horse passing by. It's fleeting. After several springs and autumns, the flowers bloom and fall, and an unclear amount of time has passed. On this day, early morning, the warm first sun rose slowly. Rare sunlight sprinkled on the streets of Rain Shinobi Village. Qing Yu opened the window. The sun lightly shone on his angular face, very handsome. His appearance has hardly changed much. And that short brown hair, during this time, has slowly begun to grow into long hair. Because he didn't trust the haircut technique of Ninja World, Qing Yu didn't cut it. Instead, he directly held a black ribbon and tied up all the hair behind him. This look looks like the night fight with the hair in Noragami, or the Hyakumaru in Dororo. The fashionable value is directly full. Qing Yu leaned against the window, looking at the scenery under the sun in the distance, and couldn't help but feel refreshed. Sure enough, if there is no continuous rain, the scenery of this village is as beautiful as ever. Today is Sunday. As the last day of the week, it also has a special meaning in Rain Shinobi Village. Pain, called God by the commoners. In order to show their existence to the Rain Shinobi of Rain Shinobi Village, I made a promise that every Sunday will be sunny. I have to say that this method is really good. Since then, those Rain Shinobi who originally belonged to Hanzo have gradually entered Pen and Konan's command and are very convinced. The ninja school in Rain Shinobi Village has also begun to reopen. Just don't know. Now it's the story of Ninja World. Qing Yu looked at the distance and chuckled helplessly in his heart. He really didn't know how long it actually took. Originally, he planned to calculate the timing of various ninja events. However, after trying a little bit, it went straight from getting started to giving up. As we all know, Kishimoto is a manga painter, he knows the Hokage of a hammer. After sorting out his thoughts for a while, Qing Yu found that the timeline of many events was chaotic, and contradictions were frequent. In the end, Qing Yu simply didn't want to think about it. Whatever. Anyway, the days of fishing just like this are very fragrant. Advertisement. Since this time, naturally, Qing Yu is always paying attention to the fermentation of Zai Palace's popularity. Have to say, the two things, Secret Art Scroll and Sharingan, are indeed very attractive to ninjas. Until now, there are still many ninjas running around in the world of ninja, trying to find a position in the Palace of the Night. Even, many people directly looked at the sea beyond the ninja world. Qing Yu couldn't help calling the good guy. In this wave, is it to open a great route directly, looking for, FK to death. In order not to let the heat recede, Qing Yu also appeared on the sea deliberately some time ago, creating another wave of topics and enthusiasm. Then, up to now, the influence of the Shuyi Palace has reached the level of LV.3 widely known. 2 waves of his rewards have already been harvested. And some time ago, because Qing Yu unintentionally showed a wave of his own swordsmanship. He was even dragged by Konan and listed as a swordsman in the ninja school in Rain Shinobi Village. It's a new identity again, mixed up. And at this moment, in Qing Yu's hand, there was a sudden change in the ring. Immediately afterwards, an indifferent voice came from 863's mind. Quote? Qing Yu suddenly raised his eyebrows slightly, of course he was already familiar with this feeling, it was Pen's ring message. Qing Yu, come to the base. A new meeting of all members will be held. Quote. As soon as the voice fell, the movement on the ring disappeared, and Qing Yu also flickered. After that, there was no hesitation. Step directly and walk out. Of course he knew the purpose of this meeting. After all, in the past period of time, Akatsuki's staff has undergone considerable changes. This change, of course, does not refer to the addition of new people or the replacement of people. It refers to the death of members. The miscellaneous fish-faced Fujiwara who partnered with Kakuzu was hacked to death by Kakuzu directly connected to the enemy during a mission. Later, he got another teammate, but because of his lack of strength, he was killed by Kakuzu. It is the Loquat Juzang. Unexpectedly, the pretense failed, and he was counter-killed by Tailed Beast Bomb on the spot. The two of them encountered a rival 4th Mizukage of Mist Shinobi and Three Tails Jinchuriki. It was a meeting about recruiting new members of Akatsuki's organization. And another dead member. For these reasons, Pain did not punish him too much. Because Kakuzu insisted that he was a manslaughter and successfully completed the task, he also brought a large amount of funds to Akatsuki. As Uchiha Itachi's partner, the two have worked together for a long time. If not unexpected, so now, the Loquat Shazang seems to want to imitate Qing Yu. Trying to slash Tailed Beast Bomb with his decapitating knife. In that battle, because of this, Uchiha Itachi unconsciously opened Amaterasu and defeated Kodachi Tachibana Yakura. Chapter 103 Bullying Honest People. For subscription == Advertisement. After a while, Qing Yu came to the base that he could no longer be familiar with. The gloomy atmosphere spread immediately. However, to Qing Yu's surprise, now the only people who arrived inside were Pen and Konan, and none of the others seemed to be here yet. Just as Qing Yu was puzzled, a calm voice came. Are you here, Qing Yu? Konan, dressed in a red cloud and black robe, stood in front of the ghetto statue, looked at Qing Yu who had just walked in, and said softly. You unexpectedly came very quickly today. Hearing this, Qing Yu's eyes lifted slightly, and then suddenly chuckled, saying. Strangeness. I go out at the same time and speed as before. It stands to reason that it should be the last one to arrive, right? Unless, you didn't notify the others, did you? Qing Yu stared at Konan and said with a smile. When the voice fell, Konan's expression suddenly moved slightly, then he lowered his eyes slightly, and said calmly. Sure enough, I can't hide it from you. Quote. Yes. This time, Pain did contact you alone first. As soon as the voice fell. Behind the stone wall on the side, Heavenly Dao Pain walked out of it, and he spoke with the same expression without wavering. Qing Yu, I have something to discuss with you in advance. In order to avoid talking about this in the meeting later, so I called you over alone first. It's okay. Hearing this, Qing Yu raised his eyebrows slightly and said calmly. Come and listen. After staying in Rain Shinobi Village for so long, the relationship between Qing Yu and the two of them is not as unfamiliar as before. Naturally all aspects should be a little bit more harmonious. Quote. At this moment, Pain raised his eyes slightly, looked at Qing Yu, and said indifferently. Have you heard of the Ninja Village Joint Shunin examination? As soon as these words came out, Qing Yu was taken aback for a moment. And many more. What's the situation? The Joint Shunin exam is coming. This is finally here. Qing Yu was overjoyed at once, raised his eyes and looked directly at the virtual screen of the system. I saw above, it was showing a task interface that had been there for a long time. Current main task. Participate in the big event Konoha Subversion Plan, 0/1 unfinished, reward unknown. Close black lens bracket. Main line branch task. Not yet opened. Close black lens bracket. ... Qing Yu suddenly showed a faint smile in his heart. This task was started directly more than a month ago, but there has been no prompt for the next task. Therefore, Qing Yu left it in the warehouse and left it alone. But did not expect, suddenly heard from Pen. For a while, Qing Yu fell into quiet thinking. However, before he can think carefully, Pain seemed to think he wasn't clear, so he spoke again and explained. Advertisement. The Joint Shunin Examination is an examination held by the genins to promote Shunin in cooperation between the major ninja villages. Generally speaking, these are important occasions for big countries to observe each other's national strength. And this time, it was jointly organized by Konoha Village and Sunagaku. Just yesterday, we, Rain Shinobi Village, also received an invitation. The above invited us Rain Shinobi Village, Takian Village, Kaoyan Village, Yinyan Village and other small countries to accompany us to participate in the Chunin exam. However, the recipient written on the invitation letter is Hanzo of the Salamander, the former leader of Rain Shinobi Village. For the sake of Akatsuki's intelligence security, we decided not to pierce it for the time being. Also, disguised as Hanzo of the Salamander is still alive, send Rain Shinobi ninjas to participate normally. That's why we want to ask you. Read more at mtlarchive.com. After all, you are now a teacher at Rain Shinobi School. For those students, you should know something about it. Quote. Quote. When the voice reached this point, Qing Yu was taken aback. After that, I couldn't help but flip over Byakugan. After hearing this, he naturally understood everything in his heart. After listening, not only did he have no fluctuations in his heart, he even became speechless. This is it. Called me over in advance, thinking that there was something important to discuss. As a result, that's it. And, why do you ask me about this kind of thing? Although I had a position as a swordsman in ninja school, I was just messing around the whole time. Don't you really think I'm doing good? If you don't catch fish at work, it is still called work. Thought of here, Qing Yu suddenly chuckled helplessly, shook his head, and said. It's not so clear. But, anyway, you also let them go in a formal way. It's the same for anyone to send, right? Is it possible? Do you really plan to win this exam? Quote. Quote. As soon as the voice fell, Pain and Konan looked at each other, and their expressions moved slightly. This is also. However, what they don't know is that Qing Yu's heart is thinking of a farther plan. And at this moment, suddenly, several different footsteps sounded one after another, interrupting their thoughts. I saw the figure of a young man slowly walking in from outside. He also wore Akatsuki's uniform with a red cloud and black robe, and on his forehead was tied a Konoha shinobi forehead protector damaged by scratches. It was Uchiha Itachi who came to the meeting. Then, behind him, the immortal ninja Kakuzu also stepped in. Nepenthes must be drilled directly from the ground. This moment, all the official members of Akatsuki are officially assembled. Qing Yu suddenly recovered from thinking. Although the main task is very important, it is naturally not the time to think about it now. Obviously, the formal meeting will come soon. And at this time. Obviously, you can see that Qing Yu of Uchiha Itachi seems to be low. He kept his eyes down and said nothing, not knowing what he was thinking. At this time, Heavenly Dao Pain spoke indifferently. Everyone wait a moment. Unsurprisingly, the new members should be here soon. In fact, for this new member, Tiandao Pain also didn't understand at all. But this person, it was the masked man Uchiha Madara who brought it out from Kurigakure, the country of water. Advertisement. It is said that the strength is very superb. Moreover, the masked man also mentioned, due to certain uncertainties in Uchiha Itachi, a dedicated member is needed to monitor it. This person is the new member. Pain will naturally not disagree with the people whom the masked man believes and entrusts him with important tasks. After a while, suddenly, two more footsteps sounded. Immediately afterwards, a familiar and noisy voice sounded at the entrance of the cave. Are you waiting for the new members I brought? It's really an honor, haha. This voice, naturally, it was a Fei, an intern. Hearing this, the faces of all the people present were indifferent, with almost no fluctuations. They have almost been used to this funny style, and they don't plan to talk to him. And at this moment, the masked man walked into the cave with a new-faced man. This man is tall. On his back, he carried a huge sword wrapped in a white bandage, and on his forehead, he was wearing a Kurigakure ninja forehead protector. The dark blue hair rushed up all the way, looking very tied. And his face, like a shark. The moment I saw him, all the people present were suddenly taken aback. This look, what's going on? There is no doubt that from this salient feature, you know that it is indeed a complete face. Everyone present, including Kakuzu, who is almost 100 years old, had never seen it at all. However, only Qing Yu, his eyes flashed slightly. Of course it's impossible not to know him. This person is the real man who has the name, Tailless Tail Beast, in the future. Hoshigaki Kisame. In the original plot, he is widely known as Uchiha Itachi's partner in Akatsuki. The proficient water style can fly, plus his fighting style that is still flamboyant in the later stages. Called the #1 honest person in the shinobi world. In fact, he himself has an extremely large chakra, and the big knife behind him, Samahata, can absorb chakra's ability to supplement his own, making his strength an absolute shadow level. The name, Tailless Beast, comes from this. It can be seen that it is fierce. He used to work under the command of the Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish in Mist Shinobi's 7 Ninja crowd, performing the work of the intelligence team. The Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost is also the first user of Samahata. Kisame killed Mist Shinobi after finding out that the Watermelon Mountain Blowfish Ghost had betrayed Mist Shinobi and seized the big knife Samahata. It turns out that Samahata is almost exclusively an exclusive weapon customized for Hoshigaki Kisame. It was in his hands that he exerted his due strength. And just when Qing Yu looked at Kisame, suddenly, the system prompt popped out of my mind abruptly. Ding. Congratulations host. Trigger a side mission. Collect one of the Mist Shinobi 7 Ninja Swords, Big Sword Samahata, 0/1. Unfinished. Reward unknown. Quote. Clam. Qing Yu's face was taken aback. Good guys. Just let me take advantage of the fire and rob him. This. Bullying honest people. Chapter 104 I'm just an ordinary rain shinobi village teacher, subscription required ===. Advertisement. Time goes by. The meeting of all Akatsuki's staff quickly ended smoothly. Just as Qing Yu expected. Sure enough, Hoshigaki Kisame was assigned to Uchiha Itachi. On the bright side, it is to cooperate with Uchiha Itachi to better perform various tasks. But in fact, Qing Yu certainly knows. Kisame was already loyal to the masked man before joining the group. And his real purpose for partnering with Itachi this time was to follow the masked man's order and come to monitor him. However, this grouping did not cause any waves. Uchiha Itachi was silent as always. After all, in today's Akatsuki organization, for the time being, there has not been anyone who was too naive, criticizing and stinging, so there will be no disputes. But, Qing Yu also knows, it is estimated that not long after, there are 2 nasty critics who are about to be recruited by Akatsuki to the senior. One is Hidan who was engaged in MLM art, and the other is Deidara who was engaged in explosive art. After these 2 goods arrived, it is estimated that Akatsuki will be a lot more lively. But, it's not about those things now. As Qing Yu walked forward, her eyes flickered slightly. What he was thinking. Of course it is the main task of the brand new system. Big event Konoha subversion plan. This conspiracy, planned by Orochimaru, created a great chaos in Konoha. And finally led to the end of the strongest Naruto Sarutobi Hiruzen. At the beginning, Qing Yu thought that his behavior had caused some kind of butterfly effect, so that Orochimaru gave up Chunan's exam to make trouble. Unexpectedly, the system task was started. This shows that the guy Orochimaru finally chose the same path. But, perhaps choosing to carry out this plan is also related to his desire to collect forbidden techniques. After all, in Konoha, there is a sealed book that records many forbidden techniques in 863. So far, Orochimaru's 15 forbidden tasks have not been collected, so naturally they will not give up. And Qing Yu, of course, you won't miss this big scene. The rewards for the main tasks of the system have always been extremely rich. Missing it would be a huge loss. Maybe there is still a chance to do the side missions that were left before, it's just killing multiple birds with one stone. But, what kind of posture should I go forward? Qing Yu immediately considered it carefully. If you want Hollow to become a fox ghost, it is naturally impossible. Due to the restriction of the status of the Shuyi Palace, many daily side tasks are not easy to do and are restricted everywhere. Of course, Akatsuki's identity is not acceptable. After all, the reason why Pen and the others decided to send someone to take the Chunin exam this time was to conceal Akatsuki's existence. In other words, at the moment, there is only one way. That is to go as the person of Rain Shinobi Village. Thought of here, Qing Yu's eyes suddenly brightened. And many more people from Rain Shinobi Village. Yup, am I not the swordsman in the Rain Shinobi Village Ninja School? Although he is AB**********, D, he also has an official status. It just made sense to take that group of genin to Konoha to take the exam, right? Since the main mission is written in large characters, participate in major events. So, participation, the focus is on participation, right? Just join the battle, right? I didn't say that I have to do something like Orochimaru. Thought of here, advertisement. Qing Yu's eyes lit up suddenly, and the corners of his mouth were grinned, revealing a plan-ready smile. This wave is called exploiting loopholes. It's amazing. Subsequently, Qing Yu no longer hesitated, and returned directly to the base to find Heavenly Dao Pain. At this time, in the base, Pain was already ready to leave, but was suddenly taken aback. But at the entrance of the cave ahead, Qing Yu, who had already left, suddenly returned for some reason. His mind was slightly puzzled. Read more at mtlarchive.com. At this time, opposite Qing Yu walked over and chuckled softly. Chief, I have a suggestion. About this time, the Ninja Village Joint Chunin exam. Pain was taken aback for a moment, then raised his eyes slightly, and said in a suspicious voice. What advice? Didn't you have decided to find a few people at random? Quote. Hearing this, Qing Yu was taken aback for a moment, then smiled helplessly and shook his head, saying. I changed my mind temporarily. For this Chunin exam, I think. I personally take the genins from Rain Shinobi Ninja School. What? When Pain heard this, he was taken aback. What's the situation? This guy, go in person. However, before he could ask a question, Qing Yu began to smile and explain. In fact, on the way out just now, I thought about it for a while. Now that we know the organization, the fund collection has been basically completed, and the mercenary plan is almost ready. Perhaps soon, as long as the manpower is filled again, we will start collecting tail beasts, right? Quote. Yes. Tiandao Pain nodded, his face calm with a trace of doubt. What Qing Yu said is indeed true. Now, Akatsuki's funding preparations are basically over. As long as he doesn't squander it casually, it will be enough for a long time. In other words, you only need to wait for the key 10 people to get together, and you can start preparing to catch the tail beasts of all countries at any time. However, he couldn't think of why Qing Yu mentioned this suddenly. At this time, after seeing Pain nodding, Qing Yu continued to smile methodically and said, if nothing else, this time the joint Shunin exam, perhaps the backbone members and even the high-level members of various Shinin villages will show up. Then, I might be able to use this opportunity to use some special methods to find out detailed information about the tail beast Jinchuriki of various countries from them. In this way, wouldn't it be possible to prepare for future plans? Quote. Question mark exclamation mark quote. As soon as he said this, Pain's eyes flashed. And many more, exploring the intelligence of the tail beast. Yup, speaking of, so far, the information on the tail beasts and Jinchuriki that Akatsuki holds is not too much. Even several of them are still completely unknown. If you want to capture them, you might need to search for information temporarily. That would be too much trouble. And this time, if Qing Yu can really detect some information from it, maybe it can really play a key role. Thinking of this, Pain's heart suddenly moved, a little loosened. At this time, Konan not far away naturally heard these words. After a moment of contemplation, she raised her eyes, looked at Pain, and considered. Advertisement. Pen. I think Qing Yu's plan may be feasible. Anyway, so far, Konoha doesn't know his identity in Akatsuki, and he is not a traitor to any Shinobu village. Even if you participate in it, none of Shinobu will notice his special. Quote. Konan's voice fell, Pain's eyes flickered suddenly, and the last thought in his heart also loosened. Subsequently, he just raised his head, looked at Qing Yu, and said solemnly. Then, leave it to you, Qing Yu. This time, as before, treat it as Akatsuki's mission and perform it perfectly. As for the people who are going to take the exam, Konan will go with you and choose it carefully. However, remember, even if you don't get the information of Tailman and Jinchuriki, you must never expose Akatsuki. Understand? Pain stared at Qing Yu and said, his tone was very calm. In fact, although I said so, but in his heart, Qing Yu is still extremely relieved. After all, for such a long time, every task Qing Yu has been responsible for has always been completed perfectly. This time, there is no reason to go wrong. Hearing this, Qing Yu grinned suddenly, and said with a chuckle. Do not worry, just like the original mission to shock Sand Shinobi, I will carry it out in the name of Rain Shinobi Village. From now on, I'm just an ordinary Rain Shinobi Village teacher. While talking, Qing Yu suddenly smiled, then I didn't know where it came from, but suddenly he took out a pair of black-rimmed glasses and put them on directly. The next moment, he suddenly stretched out his hand and wiped the long brown hair he had tied up with his hand, directly changing it into a fluffy hairstyle. In an instant, the temperament completely changed. Directly from the style of the young man, Sachuo changed into a steady and gentle style. Commonly known as honest people, seeing this change. Even Tiandao Pain and Konan were taken aback. This. Which one is this? Do you also bring on-site cross-dressing? Having said that, what is going on with this strange feeling? Why does he seem to be another person completely after wearing these black-rimmed glasses? Not only the appearance has changed, but even his own breath has become much more stable. Even if the people of Akatsuki are standing in front of them, if they only rely on their breath, they may not be able to tell immediately. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at Hot MTL novel for free. End. Now. Pain and Konan were amazed by this change. Having said that, after all, his flaming golden pupils are too recognizable. The only effect. Those who wear these glasses will hide their original aura and become an honest person who looks very honest. Shop props. Black-rimmed glasses, a limited edition of Aizen Sosuke, captain of the 5th Division. Let alone Konoha's people. Currently available information. Chapter 105 His strength is not allowed to be questioned. Please subscribe. Advertisement. Looking at Pen and Konan, who were very surprised. A smile suddenly appeared on Qing Yu's face. He was able to have this wonderful change in a short moment, naturally because of the use of two special props. And these two props, all come from the system mall. First, naturally it is the black-framed glasses he is wearing now. In the mall, the price is only 99 points, which can be called the price of cabbage. Qing Yu found it interesting, so he bought it directly. Although it is the same limitation of Aizen Sosuke in Shinigami. However, it comes with a concealed effect similar to Superman glasses, which is still slightly more useful. At least, if others don't stare at him seriously, it's hard to recognize him. The second item is more special. It is not accurate to say that it is a prop, because it is more like a very nonsense skill. Its name is Hairspray Hand. Shop price 99 points. After mastering this skill, he only needs to wipe his head with his hand to change his hairstyle at will, and he can completely shape it. It can almost be said that the head can be broken and the hairstyle cannot be messed up. Fashion is worth this piece, and it's hard to grasp. Also because it is very cheap, Qing Yu started directly. It was originally meant to be used occasionally to pretend to be used. For example, take off your glasses and wipe your hair in the air, and then say something like, "I will stand on the top of the sky." But he did not expect. Now I actually used it in reverse. It just happened to be able to play a little role in this Chunin exam to Konoha. It is also outrageous. Finally, after confirming that it is correct, Pain agreed to Qing Yu's suggestion this time, and directly asked Konan to take Qing Yu to pick people in ninja school. Konan chose to open the paper wings and flew away from the air, and Qing Yu naturally volleyed together. Rain Shinobi Village on Sunday. Because of the rare clear sky, it will always be extra lively. On the streets and alleys, many residents and Rain Shinobi ninjas can be seen walking through each other, and there are even children playing around. It's hard to believe that this is the place of suffering that was ravaged by war. Qing Yu was flying above the sky. While looking down at the scene below, I couldn't help feeling in my heart. Beside him, Konan was flying forward with his paper wings spread out. At this moment, after noticing Qing Yu's gaze, Konan suddenly spoke calmly. It's amazing, isn't it? The Rain Shinobi village, called the Land of Death, is so harmonious. As if everything is dreamlike. However, it was impossible for Rain Shinobi under the leadership of Hanzo of the Salamander to have such a sight. Almost all of this was created by Pain. That's why people here admire him so much. Call him God. Konan's eyes dropped slightly, as he walked forward, explaining these words. In fact, she said it more than once. However, it seems that every time she sees the piece of Rain Shinobi village, she can't help but sigh to Qing Yu. Advertisement. And after a while, they came to the location of the ninja school in Rain Shinobi village. The location here is almost at the center of the entire Rain Shinobi village, which shows how much Pain attaches to it. The students of Shinobi school come from various families in Rain Shinobi village, as well as the orphans of Rain Shinobi village who were once displaced during the war. Pain did not collect their money at all, but used the funds of the Akatsuki organization to occasionally allocate funds to endure the normal operation of the school. Most of the teachers at Shinobi school are Rain Shinobi. A large part of them were even Hanzo of the Salamander's men, but in the end, after Hanzo was defeated by Pain, they also abandoned them. Pain did not target them, but gave them a more stable life. Over time, all Rain Shinobi naturally began to feel grateful and admired for Pain. The situation in Rain Shinobi village has stabilized as a result. Read more at mtlarchive.com. You wait here for a while. I will bring the genin students from ninja school. After Konan spoke softly to Qing Yu, he flew indirectly toward the front. In her expression, there seems to be some unprecedented complex emotions. Perhaps when she saw the children of Rain Shinobi village, she thought of her past. And after a while, a group of genin teenagers and girls with different looks immediately followed Konan towards this side. They were all very honest at this time, walking forward, looking at Konan's back, full of admiration and awe. This is the angel Konan-sama. At this time, they saw the figure waiting ahead. Qing Yu in a red cloud and black robe. At this time, he had already taken off the pair of glasses and naturally returned to his normal aura. And the moment he saw him, many people suddenly showed a puzzled look. What happened? Isn't this person the swordsman in ninja school? Why is he here? Just as everyone was puzzled, suddenly, Konan in front of him stopped. Everyone naturally stopped immediately. At this time, Konan turned around and looked at the young girls with calm eyes. And at this time, a young girl in the crowd spoke carefully. Lord Angel, you are looking for us, do you have any special tasks to explain? Quote. As soon as the voice fell, Konan lowered his eyes slightly and said calmly. Yes, the Ninja Village Joint Chunin exam will soon be opened in Konoha, Land of Fire. We at Rain Shinobi Village were also invited by Konoha and Sand Shinobi to join this joint examination. And you are all ninjas with genin strength, so you need to represent Rain Shinobi to participate in this assessment. As long as you pass it successfully, you can be promoted to Chunin smoothly. Speaking of which, the young girls below were taken aback for a moment, and then suddenly their faces were different. Some people look nervous and seem to hesitate. Some people have their eyes glowing and look forward to it. Konan paused for a while, then continued calmly and quietly. But, before you officially set off, there are a few things that I need to explain to you. We, Rain Shinobi Village, are now undergoing a brand new reform and rise. All intelligence is very important. Therefore, we must never let our village know our secrets. Ask for flowers. You go to Konoha this time. Advertisement. Make everyone think that Rain Shinobi Village is still under the rule of Hanzo of the Salamander. Do you understand? It's Lord Angel. The boys and girls suddenly nodded solemnly and agreed. Although they are not too old. But after all, he grew up in this special environment. In the face of this kind of big right and wrong at the ninja village level, they can certainly adjust their mentality well. After seeing their expressions, Konan raised his eyes slightly and said softly. Very good. Then next, I will introduce you to the leader of this time. Talking, Konan turned sideways slightly, gave Qing Yu a position, and then calmly said. This is Qing Yu. You should all know that he occasionally serves as a swordsmanship teacher here at ninja school. And this time I went to Konoha's Chunin joint exam. He will personally lead you. Quote. Question mark exclamation mark quote. As soon as this word came out. Suddenly, all the teenagers and girls were surprised. What? Let him lead us too. This moment, quite a few weird looks suddenly appeared in the eyes of many people. As ninjas, although they are not top-notch. But, of course, you can also perceive the chakra breadth of other people to varying degrees. But now, standing in front of them, Qing Yu, the amount of chakra in his body was almost negligible. Such a weak chakra can also be the team leader. Everyone started to be confused. But at this moment, Konan seemed to notice their weird look. Before Qing Yu could respond, Konan lowered his eyes slightly, and then spoke indifferently, saying. Your look, what's the matter? Is it doubtful? Okay. Then I'll just talk about it. Even, I lost my life. Then you will lose miserably. Understand. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at Hot MTL novel for free. It is precisely because Konan sees his own shadow in them that he does not want them to develop such a bad habit of underestimating the enemy. They didn't expect that the angel, who had always been extremely calm, would suddenly be angry with them because of that Qing Yu teacher. Superior. He went personally. You should feel honored, not questioned. Konan said indifferently, but at the end, his tone suddenly increased. The strength of your teacher Qing Yu, even if it is placed in the entire ninja realm, is the highest level. However, what they didn't know was, Qing Yu's chakra breadth is weak. Like a stern teacher. But the strength is so strong that even Nagato and the Uchiha Madara have to admit. No one is qualified to question this. If in the subsequent Chunin assessment, you still judge your opponent's strength directly based on the strength of chakra like this. And the young girls from Rain Shinobi village below were all shocked. Chapter 106 I use the current ninjutsu, subscription required ===. Advertisement. Quote. No, I'm very sorry. Master Angel, yes, we are too superficial. Please forgive our offense. After listening to Konan's words, a Rain Shinobi young man immediately looked down on his old man in a hurry, and quickly confessed his mistake to Konan. He just showed a very skeptical look. Therefore, I understood Konan's words. Seeing this, other people naturally reacted quickly, and quickly lowered their heads. Yes, I'm sorry, Lord Angel, extremely sorry. They all bowed their heads tightly, and the attitude of admitting their mistakes was very sincere. Although Konan said that Qing Yu's strength was very strong, they were very surprised, but they would not doubt it. After all, in the education they received at Rain Shinobi since childhood, there is no reason to question Lord Angel. Now that the Lord Angel said that teacher Qing Yu is very strong, it is very strong. No need to hesitate. At this moment, after seeing them like this, Konan's serious expression on his face eased slightly. Then she was silent for a moment. Then he turned his head slightly to look at Qing Yu, lowered his eyes, and said. In the historical joint Chunin exams, there will always be some dangers. Generally speaking, there will be situations where the ninjas in each village are hostile or even fighting each other. And these children in Rain Shinobi village, although they have received rigorous training, have good strength. But, compared with the ninjas in the outer village who have secret arts or blood succession limits, they may not have an advantage. Having said that, Konan raised his eyes, looked at Qing Yu, and said seriously. Qing Yu, I hope this time, if you find a strong player in the Chunin exam, remember to warn them in advance. Let them never go up to fight. At least, not to die. At the end, Konan's eyes seemed to move slightly, but his tone was firm. When Qing Yu heard the words, he raised his eyebrows, then smiled and said. Relax, Konan, I can still judge whether a person is dangerous or not. As long as they don't take the initiative to go up and die, I can assure you that they all come back safely. Qing Yu said with a smile. Only then did he begin to discover that it turned out that Konan, the angel who used to look unsmiling all the time. In front of this group of children, it would really be like an angel. And at this time, after hearing Qing Yu's words, Konan was also relieved immediately. An imperceptible smile suddenly appeared on his face, and he said quietly. Then, leave it to you. Quote. The two talked very calmly. At this time, when the Rain Shinobi genin on the side saw the smile on Konan's face, they were all stunned. Immediately afterwards, one by one showed excited expressions. Turns out, is this how the angel smiled? Okay, so beautiful. They had hardly seen this serious Konan-sama before and would show such an expression. However, only a moment later, she quickly recovered her expression, looked over without any disturbance, and said indifferently. This Chunin exam is not a trifle. It's a dangerous journey that is very likely to involve life and death. So, I can't let you all go. So next, teacher Qing Yu will choose a few people to take the exam. Now, you can show your strengths to him as best you can here. The final decision is in his hands. Quote. Question mark exclamation mark quote. Advertisement. As soon as these words came out, all the young girls below were shocked. Must show strength here, only after being selected by Qing Yu teacher, can he have the opportunity to go there. Everyone immediately started gearing up. Although Konan said that the Chunin exam this time might be dangerous, they still wanted to try it. After all, after becoming Chunin, you are completely different from Genin. But at this moment, Qing Yu on the side suddenly disappeared for a week before speaking to Konan, wondering. Konan, I remember, Genin from Rain Shinobi Village, shouldn't he just tolerate these kids in the school? Where are the lower level Rain Shinobi under Hanzo? Read more at mtlarchive.com. Didn't you call? Qing Yu asked in surprise. After all, he clearly remembered that in the original work. In Rain Shinobi who went to participate in this Konoha joint examination, there are several juniors Rain Shinobi who look like young people. And a few of them have just met Gaara. As a result, Gaara at that time was directly buried in a sandstorm to the second. Qing Yu has a profound influence on this. But now, among the young girls in this group of ninja school, they obviously overlapped with Qing Yu's memory. Quote. At this time, after hearing Qing Yu's words, Konan didn't seem to have any accidents, but his eyes calmly spoke. Originally, I planned to find them to be responsible for investigating Jinchuriki's information during this exam. But now, since Qing Yu you plan to go there in person, naturally you don't need them anymore. That's why I temporarily decided to change the candidate to these children, hoping that they can take this opportunity to go out and meet the world. After all, they don't belong to Akatsuki. They are this Rain Shinobi village, the real future. Konan cast his eyes down and said calmly. The logic is clear. After listening, Qing Yu nodded clearly in his heart. Indeed, as a person born in Rain Shinobi village, Konan has strange feelings for this land. It is normal. Thinking of this, Qing Yu looked at the ninja school students in front, and said lightly. You guys start showing them one by one. As soon as the voice fell, all the teenagers and girls suddenly condensed in their hearts and replied respectfully in unison. Yes, although the sound is neat and uniform, full of power. But in fact, some people are obviously full of dignity and sadness, and seem to be very nervous. And some people have the chance to win, and their faces are full of confidence, wishing to start right away. After a while, they all performed their stunts one by one. It is nothing more than, Ninfam Ryu do 1000 Ben, Water Style Black Rain Technique, Water Style Water Turbulence, and so on. After reading it, Qing Yu not only did not fluctuate in his heart, but was even a little speechless. The degree of bells and whistles is fine, but with this kind of power, how can you compare with Konoha, San Shinobi, and Orochimaru's Odonin village? Not to mention that there are so many comparisons in this Chunin exam. Thought of here, Qing Yu also suddenly chuckled helplessly. Oh, forget it, there is no need to be too entangled. Anyway, I used to be AB*********** D this time, and I don't expect these people to be promoted through this competition Chunin. Thinking of this, Qing Yu nodded casually. Good. As soon as his voice fell, Konan's eyes moved slightly. Good. What kind of evaluation is this? However, before she thought about it. Advertisement. Qing Yu suddenly raised his hand, and directly pointed out the three genin who had just been the most proficient in ninjutsu from the crowd. It happens to be the standard configuration for 2 teenagers and 1 girl. Well, just the 3 of you. Qing Yu's gaze swept across their faces, and then calmly. As soon as the voice fell, these 3 people suddenly showed extremely excited expressions on their faces, and they all lowered their heads quickly, and said in unison. Thank you for your recognition, Teacher Qing Yu. And at this time, the other students who were not selected were naturally a little frustrated and disappointed. However, they would not be jealous. After all, everyone is a classmate, and everyone knows that the person Qing Yu just selected is just 3 people who are skilled in ninfa. They were selected completely logically. At this time, Konan on the side moved his eyes slightly, surprised. Qing Yu, do you only need 3 people? Well, enough. Qing Yu nodded, then smiled and looked over, saying. No matter how many people there are, flaws will be revealed. After all, in this Chunin assessment, the real protagonists are San Shinobi and Konoha. There is no need to grab the limelight with them. Quote. Hearing this, Konan nodded slightly and said. Right, well, just the 3 of them. With that said, he turned and looked at the 3 selected students again, and said indifferently. Konoha's letter said that the Chunin exam will be officially opened in 10 days, and the location is naturally Konoha village. So, you can leave in 7 days. During this time, prepare well. Yes. After explaining some things, Konan took the other children who were not selected in 3.7 and left directly. Above this ninjutsu dojo, only Qing Yu and the 3 selected students were left. Before Konan left, if they did not understand, please consult the teacher Qing Yu. But at this moment, the Rain Shinobi genin girl among the 3 raised her head curiously. Looking at Qing Yu, he said very carefully. Upon hearing this, Qing Yu raised his eyebrows lightly, glanced at them, and said casually. The girl asked curiously. Line whip flow. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at Hot MTL novel for free. Angel Konan-sama just said that your strength is considered the highest level in the ninja realm. Excuse me, what kind of ninjutsu do you use? Ms. Qing Yu. Put your hands together, what do you call, have you heard of it? However, actually only need to put your hands together, don't you need to get the seal? It seems to be very powerful. Sounds like. When the voice fell, the three genins were instantly stunned. Chapter 107 Akatsuki's goal is the real direction of the world for subscription ===. Advertisement. At the same time, the other side. At the same time Qing Yu was in the Rain Shinobi Ninja School. Next to a river in Rain Shinobi Village, Uchiha Itachi sat alone on a huge rock, staring at the river in front of him. Only on Sunday, Rain Shinobi Village will have such a rare sunny day. Therefore, as long as there is no mission, Itachi will often come here. It's just sitting still, no one knew what he was thinking. And himself. In fact, it is not clear. Maybe, just enjoy this rare peaceful time. And at this moment, suddenly, behind him, there was a slightly weird voice. At the same time, it was accompanied by the sound of approaching footsteps. It looks like, from today we will be partners, Mr. Uchiha Itachi. Quote. As soon as the voice fell, Uchiha Itachi suddenly raised his eyes slightly, but did not act. He had heard this voice before in the meeting. It is the new member who joined this time. Hoshigaki Kisame. Therefore, Itachi did not pay attention. Not familiar with him. At this moment, the footsteps behind him got closer and closer, and he still said to himself. There seems to be a lack of formal self-introduction between us. So, I am Hoshigaki Kisame from the Mist Shinobi 7. Please take care of it, Itachi-san. Quote. 25. After the voice fell, Itachi still did not speak. His mind moved slightly. For some reason, he suddenly remembered. He was just a new member not long ago, but he didn't expect to become an old member now. Although Itachi was not a person who would be restrained by emotions, he was extremely calm. However, this does not mean that he has no feelings. Touching the scene of injury, he will naturally have. At this time, Hoshigaki Kisame behind him, seeing that he still did not answer, and was not angry. Instead, he continued to pace forward, then stopped about 1 meter behind him, grinned slightly, and said with a light smile. Even if I don't need to introduce myself, I know you, Itachi-san. I heard that before you left Konoha, you killed the entire Uchiha clan without leaving it, right? That's why I agreed to form a partner with you. After all, the feeling of killing a companion is really unspeakable. Right, Itachi-san. Kisame grinned slightly, slowed down his tone, and stared at Itachi's back. The reason for saying this is of course to arouse Uchiha Itachi's attention. As predicted, after hearing this, Itachi raised his head slightly and spoke indifferently. Perhaps you think you know me well. What about yourself? Wandering and confused in the fog finally arrived here, but you are just a person who can't even determine your own direction. Could it be, are you trying to find a direction in Akatsuki? Having said this, Itachi slowly stood up, then turned around and looked over, saying indifferently. The people here are almost all people who have deviated from the world and cannot return to their roots. Here, there is no direction at all. As soon as the voice fell, Itachi lowered his eyes slightly, preparing to leave directly. But at this time, advertisement. Suddenly Kisame spoke again. Hehe, what an interesting argument, Itachi-san. Do you say, depart from the world? Quote. But, how do I feel? Akatsuki's goal is the true direction of the world. Quote. As soon as this word came out, Itachi couldn't help but stop suddenly. Akatsuki is the true direction of the world. Itachi lowered his eyes slightly. He can't agree. An expanded war will obviously only bring pain. Read more at mtlarchive.com. However, just as he was about to continue speaking, suddenly, something unexpected happened around him. A pitcher plant-like creature suddenly rose from the ground, and then made a low and mute voice at the two of them, saying, Uchiha Itachi, Hoshigaki Kisame. An unexpected situation occurred. You two, have a mission. Quote. As soon as the voice came out, Itachi and Kisame were taken aback at the same time. What's the situation? Kisame has just joined in this morning, but there is unexpected task in the afternoon. Is it such a coincidence? Thinking of this, Kisame grinned slightly and said with a smile. It's a good time. There was a chance to witness the power of Sharingan from the Uchiha clan. Oh Moses Roy. Hearing this, on the other hand, Itachi looked calm, looked towards Ju, and said indifferently. What emergency situation? As soon as the voice fell, a completely different weird voice suddenly came out, saying. It seems that there is a mercenary ninja organization in a small country that has investigated the existence of our Rain Shinobi village in Akatsuki. Leader Pain decided to let the two of you go there to carry out annihilation attacks on these hidden enemies. Quote. As soon as this word came out, the eyes of the two moved slightly. However, before Kisame on the side could speak, Itachi frowned and said in surprise. Wait, annihilate Akatsuki's enemy. This type of task, isn't it always performed by Senior Qing Yu? Itachi said suspiciously. During this long period of time. Regarding Akatsuki's various enemies, Qing Yu is indeed responsible for all alone. And all the tasks he performed before, without exception, were all completed perfectly without fail. Because of this, Itachi felt strange. Why did this task, which sounds like Qing Yu should be in charge, suddenly transferred to them? However, just as he thought about it, Ju made a low, soft smile, and then said. Tisk, what a keen insight. Well, there is nothing to say about that. Then tell you the truth, Qing Yu Sang now has another mission. It is not suitable for going out to perform this mission for the time being. So, the leader decided to hand it over to you temporarily. Since Kisame joined for the first time, I just used the opportunity of this mission to let your new partner combination get familiar with it, right? Quote. As soon as these words came out, Itachi moved slightly in his heart. Isn't Qing Yu still in Rain Shinobi Village? He has another mission. Is it so mysterious? Itachi was even more puzzled. Out of doubts about Qing Yu's instinct, he of course paid much attention to this matter. Advertisement. However, before he could continue to ask questions, he dropped a word and slipped straight away. Then, you guys are going to the base. The leader will explain to you the detailed mission target address. The moment the voice fell, his body had completely submerged into the ground, and finally disappeared completely. But Itachi narrowed his eyes slightly, and his blood-red light flashed slightly. See Kisame on the side. Suddenly he couldn't help but his expression moved slightly. For this mission, he didn't care much at first, after all, he had already made such preparations before he came. But now, what's the matter with Uchiha Itachi's expression? Why does this guy seem to pay special attention to the member named Qing Yu? Anyway, before joining the Akatsuki organization, the masked man did give him a list of official members of the Akatsuki organization. And in this member profile, the most special person happened to be this person named Qing Yu. Almost nothing is written in his materials. It was just mentioned that he had a pair of burning golden pupils, named Evil King True Eyes, which was a powerful blood succession bound pupil technique with very complete functions. Possessing the special ability to release the unprinted escape technique and the suspected manipulation of gravity and illusion, it is very mysterious and powerful. With this power, one person alone shakes the village of Shinobi. But the strange thing is, regarding his past background, 863 is completely blank. There is no country, no Shinobu village. Even the place where he first appeared for the first time was in the boundless wilderness and desert of the Kingdom of Wind. When I first saw the intelligence, Kisame once felt puzzled about this, and thought it was the masked man's intelligence that was missing or mistyped. I didn't expect it. The masked man said helplessly that he knew nothing about it. Kisame had no choice but to give up. But he didn't expect that at this time, weird incidents involving that Qing Yu would begin to appear again. Just as Kisame was thinking about it, suddenly, Uchiha Itachi is moving. His expression returned to normal, and then he stepped in a direction to the left, and said as he walked. Let's go, Kisame. Seeing the direction he was heading, Kisame suddenly raised his eyes slightly and said. Hey, are you going in the wrong direction, Itachi? If you go to the leader's base, you would be totally in the opposite direction. Hearing this, Itachi did not look back, nor did he stop. He just walked forward and said indifferently. So, let's just keep up and take a look. Interesting. Maybe this time, before I go to the boss, I will first look for senior Qing Yu. Dot. Quote. Gee. At this moment, after hearing this, Kisame grinned slightly, revealing a weird smile. Can you help Lord Uchiha Madara and get information about two weird guys at the same time? Kisame thought, and followed. If you don't plan to follow, go to the base yourself first. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at Hot MTL novel for free. After all, this Uchiha Itachi really has a very strange attitude towards the golden pupil Qing Yu. Chapter 108 Go, let's subvert Konoha together, Itachi. For subscription ===. Advertisement. The screen is pulled back here. Qing Yu leisurely leaves from Rain Shinobi School. Afterwards, he walked slowly towards his house again. The sun lengthens the phantom. With his hands in Akatsuki Pao's large pockets, he walked forward in a leisurely manner. The expression is relaxed and the pace is leisurely. After all, now that the main mission this time is basically no need to worry at all. There is also no need to go sneakily after taking advantage of the black tone and hollow like the night of extermination. This time I went to Konoha. He only needs to put on his black-rimmed glasses and apply hairspray to his head. He is the most honest person in Rain Shinobi Village. Very easy. And, he had just learned from Konan's words that Konoha's Chunin exam would not be officially launched until 10 days later. According to the distance between Rain Shinobi Village and Konoha. Even if you walk the whole journey, you can reach it easily in at most 3 days, so there is no need to rush. So now, he naturally doesn't have to worry about this too much. But, I mean, just now, before Qing Yu left Rain Shinobi Ninja School. The 3 selected children seemed to be just as discussed, but suddenly began to beg Qing Yu together. I hope Qing Yu can teach them sword skills before going to Konoha. The expressions of the 3 are very sincere, and their posture is humble to the extreme. Qing Yu suddenly felt helpless in his heart. No way. He had to temporarily pull out a relatively basic swordsmanship scroll from his system warehouse. Give it to them directly, and then confess 2 of them at will, and then left with a backhand. Even so, after the 3 little guys saw the glowing swordsmanship scroll, their eyes suddenly lit up. One by one, they all bowed and thanked each other, as if they had received a treasure. They were extremely excited. But actually, they don't know. This set of swordsmanship is just the most basic one in Qing Yu's collection. It was the reward that Qing Yu received through survival check-in when he was in the secret realm. After learning it, it was directly given to the bottom of the box. If it hadn't been for these 3 children, he really couldn't remember that there was still this thing. Although this swordsmanship comes from the Shinigami world. However, of course Qing Yu had already understood it well beforehand. All the moves and sword skills in this swordsmanship scroll. Even people who have no spiritual power at all can learn, which is completely entry level. Moreover, once learned, it will have a very good power, and its pure destructive power can even be comparable to many ninjutsu. But, having said that, naturally, it also depends on whether those 3 guys have the talent for learning. While thinking, Qing Yu has already walked to the house. However, in this wonderful place again, suddenly, once again, he saw 2 figures coming from the road on the side. The same are 2 figures wearing Akatsuki's red clouds and black robes. But there are no Loquat Shizang anymore. It's Uchiha Itachi, and the new official member, Hoshigaki Kisame. And, unlike the original, this time, Uchiha Itachi did not take the same detour as before. Instead, he speeded up his pace and walked directly toward this side. Senior Qing Yu, please wait a minute, Uchiha Itachi said as he walked forward. Since the collision with Qing Yu's pupil technique that year, Itachi has always called Qing Yu as predecessor. Screaming, I'm used to it. It can't be changed. Advertisement. And at this time, Qing Yu also stopped the movement in his hand. He still put his hands in the big pockets of the windbreaker, his eyes were surprised, and he said. What, something? When the voice fell, Uchiha Itachi had already arrived in front of him. He lowered his eyes slightly, the expression on his face was like an iceberg, and he said very calmly. That's it. The leader Pain just gave us a brand new mission to destroy a hostile organization of Akatsuki. Moreover, I also received the absolute news that you happen to have a new mission, right? Is it convenient to disclose? Read more at mtlarchive.com. Maybe we can help you some. Itachi looked at Qing Yu calmly, his tone was very ordinary, just like chatting with others. Quote. However, as soon as these words came out, Qing Yu was speechless. There is this kind of operation. Although we both seem to be an organization. However, as a Konoha spy, Uchiha Itachi has no sense of being a spy. There is no reason for it. It would be too silly to ask me about the mission's information so bluntly. Do you really think of me as your big brother? Ask me if you don't know. Qing Yu flipped Byakugan. However, in fact, there is really nothing to say about this mission. Anyway, his actions are fair and honest, and it won't affect anything at all if he speaks it out. Then, Qing Yu looked at Itachi, suddenly raised his eyebrows, and said with a smile. Oh, you said the task. Go, I'm going to subvert Konoha, do you want to be together? Quote. Question mark exclamation mark quote. Quote exclamation mark quote. As soon as these words were spoken, Itachi's face suddenly changed slightly, and there was a sudden shrink in his pupils. What? He wants to subvert Konoha. How can this be? This sudden weird word completely interrupted Uchiha Itachi's original thoughts in an instant, leaving his head blank. All the inferences he had thought of before he came, at this moment, all are down. And at this time, after seeing the flash of horror in Itachi's eyes, the smile on Qing Yu's face suddenly became stronger, raised his chin slightly, and said with a smile. Why, don't you dare. You can even destroy the Uchiha clan, are you afraid of a Sarutobi group? Go, come with me, put Konoha on fire, and come directly to where Konoha dances, the fire is endless, how about it? Quote. When the voice fell, Weasel's expression was dumbfounded. After hearing these words, he knew that he seemed to have been tricked. Moreover, he also realized that his strange expression just now seemed too obvious, so he quickly lowered his head, lowered his eyes, and suppressed Qing Yu in his heart. Only a moment later, his expression returned to indifference. It's true if you think about it carefully. It is impossible for Qing Yu to carry out such a major event as subverting Konoha alone. It is impossible to proceed at this time. With the fact that even the tail beasts have not yet been gathered, it is impossible for Akatsuki to launch a war against the 5 great ninja villages. Thinking of this, Itachi slowly raised his eyes again and recovered indifferently, then looked at Qing Yu and said indifferently. Senior Qing Yu, are you kidding me? The bosses can't let you subvert Konoha in this situation, so. You should have other tasks. He spoke with certainty. When Qing Yu finished listening, he turned over Byakugan. Advertisement. Talking to the actor is troublesome. The speed at which he changed his face was almost faster than the flying thunder god of the Master. It's outrageous. You believe it or not. Slid away. Qing Yu didn't bother to talk to him anymore. After waving his hand at them, he turned around and entered his house. His steps are still leisurely, and he doesn't seem to take these 2 people seriously. Uchiha Itachi and Kisame were taken aback. That's it. But, obviously I haven't asked anything. Itachi lowered his head slightly, and a complex light flashed in his eyes. What happened? It seems that from before to now, this Qing Yu has always completely distrusted me. Even a simple mission goal is unwilling to disclose to me. Could it be that? Has he already doubted my identity as a spy? Itachi lowered his head, frowned, his brain was thinking quickly. Since he just mentioned Konoha, then it can be basically concluded that this time his mission is very likely to be related to Konoha. But, if it wasn't a big move like subverting Konoha, what would it be? The exploration of Jinchuriki. While Itachi was thinking about it, Kisame, who had witnessed the whole process, grinned and said with a weird chuckle. Zay, Itachi-san, your expression looks very complicated. What are you thinking about? Quote. As soon as the voice fell, Itachi recovered his mind. Then, after raising his head and looking at Kisame indifferently, he turned around, lowered his eyes and walked forward, indifferently. It's nothing, let's go, and pick up the task. Quote. After all, Uchiha Itachi walked directly forward alone. And Kisame looked at his back, again showing an unpredictable weird smile. Hey, it's exactly what Uchiha Madara said. This Uchiha Itachi. Although in the Akatsuki organization, it seems that Konoha village still has an unbreakable bond. The micro-expressions just now have explained everything. Kisami's eyes flickered slightly. Although his appearance looks simple, his mind and thoughts are very delicate. Otherwise, it is impossible to become a member of Miss Shinobi's intelligence force. Therefore, today, Kisame was more surprised, but Qing Yu. This guy with the bright golden pupil almost always had a very relaxed posture when he was just talking. Toilet. No wonder Uchiha Itachi and Madara-sama are so concerned about him. Even when it comes to the words, subvert Konoha. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at Hot MTL novel for free. What a dangerous man. His expression, movements, tone, and even his eyes were completely unchanged, and he was completely impeccable. Kisami's eyes gleamed slightly. However, this time, his understanding of Akatsuki was even clearer. In the short conversation just now, he successfully captured all the changes in Uchiha Itachi's micro-expressions. There are no loopholes. Even though Kisame knew that his subversion Konoha was lying, he couldn't find any trace of lying. After that, he followed Uchiha Itachi and walked away gradually. It was these changes that made him more affirmed by the masked man Uchiha Madara. Chapter 109 Rain Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, Mission Impossible Konoha, subscription required ===. Advertisement. A week's time passed quickly. It's another sunny Sunday. And at the moment, at the entrance of Rain Shinobi village, a lot of people are gathering, which is far more lively than usual. But, they certainly did not gather for reasons such as going to market or gathering crowds for gambling. It's a big deal. That is the joint Chunin exam. Yes. The news that Konoha invited Rain Shinobi to participate in the joint Chunin exam has already spread slowly throughout Rain Shinobi village. However, since there is no possibility of spying or information leakage in Rain Shinobi village, Pain and Konan are not concerned. Let it automatically begin to spread. And today, it is the departure date agreed earlier. There are still 3 days before the official opening of the Chunin exam, so time is naturally enough. Now, the 3 selected children stood in front of the crowd, with a hint of honor in their expressions, but also a lot of worries. In the back, there are some residents and other shinobi students. Everyone talked a lot, the reason why their team hasn't set off yet. Naturally, to wait for the team leader this time. A special swordsmanship teacher from Rain Shinobi Ninja Academy was personally invited by Angel Konan to serve as the team leader. It is said that he will pay attention to the exam throughout the whole process, and will ensure the safe return of the 3 participating Rain Shinobi. With the assurance of Lord Angel, many people naturally feel very relieved. And at this moment, I don't know which voice suddenly shouted. Ah, someone seems to be here. As soon as the voice fell, everyone immediately looked in that direction. But seeing the front, the figure of a young man slowly came from a distance. As he got closer, the picture became clear. He has long, fluffy brown hair, draped casually on his shoulders, and is wearing a normal Rain Shinobi teacher costume. He wears black frame glasses on his face, his complexion is leisurely, his hands are still in his pockets as usual. Step 867 FA. She walked towards this side scatteredly. It seems, even a little listless, and at this moment, at the moment of seeing him clearly. Not only these onlookers, even the students in Shinobu School, were suddenly stupid. Isn't Mr. Qing Yu here? Who is this, again? Is there such a person in Rain Shinobi village? Everyone was stunned, even, until this figure walked within 2 meters in front of them, no one could recognize it. Everyone is at a loss. Some people started scratching their heads in confusion. The whole staff was dumbfounded. And at this moment, Qing Yu naturally noticed their strangeness, and couldn't help but stop, smiled, and gently lifted his eyes. Subsequently, Reiatsu surged. At this moment, in his golden pupils, a light like a white air current burst out in an instant, incredibly bright. Quote. Question mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Seeing this picture, the students of ninja school who were still bewildered were all suddenly shocked. Wait a moment, this is the burning golden pupil. That, teacher Qing Yu, moment. All of the 3 selected children were recognized, and a teenager said directly in astonishment. Ms. Qing Yu. Your look, how can you? Heard that. Advertisement. Qing Yu stepped forward while putting Reiatsu on his eyes, chuckling softly. It's just a little disguise. Quote. I'm afraid that some people from Shinobu village will not dare to continue taking the exam when they see me. Qing Yu said with a smile, in a very casual tone. And hearing this, the residents next to them were taken aback for a moment, and then suddenly laughed. Ahahaha, Teacher Qing Yu is really humorous. Yes, ha ha ha, this time, the 3 children who are going to participate in this time, but please take care of you. I didn't expect this young teacher Qing Yu to be so jokes and laughs haha. Some Rain Shinobi residents smiled very friendly. For the people recommended by Angel Konan, of course they naturally have a good impression. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Even if they speak big words, they will not feel any discomfort. However, at this time, unlike these residents, none of the students in Shinobu School was smiling. On the contrary, they all stared closely at Qing Yu, with a trace of blood surging in their hearts. Because they knew that Qing Yu didn't laugh. After all, according to Lord Conan's words that day, his strength is the highest level in the entire ninja world. Well, if someone in other countries is very afraid of Teacher Qing Yu, it is very likely to be true. Thought of here, all the students of Rain Shinobi Ninja School suddenly felt emotion in their hearts. Teacher Qing Yu is really amazing. In order not to scare others, he took the initiative to cover up his appearance. And at this time, Qing Yu on this side also noticed something strange. I saw that the 3 selected children were dressed differently from 7 days ago. Of course, it's not about appearance. But behind them, there is something more. A black straight knife. Qing Yu raised his eyebrows suddenly, and then chuckled unexpectedly. What's the situation? I just gave them a swordsmanship scroll, and they all carried a sword on their backs. Is it possible to prepare for this Chunin exam? Well, maybe it's really useful. Qing Yu's eyes flickered slightly, and he didn't intend to stay anymore. So he glanced at the 3 of them, and said, let's go to Konoha village. Yes, the 3 immediately answered in unison. Then, following in the footsteps of Qing Yu, he gradually moved away from Rain Shinobi village. Thus, embarked on the Chunin exam trip to Konoha. And at the moment, the 3 of them haven't realized how bizarre this exam will be. At the same time, the other side. The country of fire, within a city near Konoha. At this time, in a towering building, a group of ninjas with peculiar clothes and peculiar looks were ushered in. The headed person was wearing a large white robe, hat and mask on his head, covering his face. Seeing this picture, the passers-by outside were shocked. Wait, then, is that the Wind Shadow Hat? What's going on? The ninjas of Sunagakur, the country of wind, have they actually come here? I seem to have heard that Konoha and San Shinobi's Chunin exam will be officially held soon. They should be here to take this. It should be. The passers-by talked a lot, and then, this group of people moved into each guest room of this building. But at this time, the headed person wearing the Wind Shadow Hat did not enter the room, but went up to the top floor of the building alone. Advertisement. A San Shinobi ninja on the side saw it and suddenly became surprised and said, Master Fengying, are you going to? Hearing that, the person called Fengying did not stop, but walked directly upwards, indifferently. I'll go up and think about something. Don't come up and disturb me, understand? Yes. This San Shinobi immediately replied respectfully, and stood there, watching Fengying leave. However, in fact, at this time, what they don't know is, on the top roof of this building, there is already a figure standing here. He is wearing a gray ninja suit, Konoha Shinobi forehead protector on his head, a gray ponytail, and a pair of round glasses. He seems to be waiting for something at this moment. It is the familiar face, Mission Impossible, Yakushi Kabuto. After a while, the person wearing the wind and shadow robe also happened to be on the rooftop. See here. Do suddenly looked happy. After that, he immediately came to him, knelt on one knee, and said very respectfully. You are finally here, I have been waiting for a long time. Orochimaru-sama. The words fell, and under the wind and shadow hat, a slight laughter suddenly came. Hee. Look at the Konoha forehead protector you are wearing now. Our plan, everything seems to be going well, Do. This voice, it is the scientist Orochimaru. At this moment, he didn't know why, he was wearing Fengying's clothes, and even his appearance was almost the same as Fengying. Hearing this, Do suddenly nudged his glasses and said with a smile. As you requested, on Konoha's side, I have successfully penetrated. All the materials for this Chunin exam have also been obtained. But, have you really decided to enter this Chunin exam in person as Kushinin before you deal with Third Hokage? Do asked carefully. As soon as the voice fell, Orochimaru grinned and smiled. Of course, although killing Sarutobi Hiruzen is the most important part of this plan, how could I miss the perfect container of Uchiha's house? Since Uchiha Itachi's body is hopeless, his brother Uchiha Sasuke is also a very good choice. Orochimaru licked his lips and said. Upon hearing this, Yakushi Kabuto was taken aback for a moment, then chuckled lightly and said. You were right. Then, I will obey all your actions at that time. Orochimaru nodded. Then, as if thinking of something, he suddenly asked. Where are the ninjas in Rain Shinobi village? Have you observed any special movements? Hearing this, he shook his head and said honestly. At present, the participating ninjas of Rain Shinobi village have not yet arrived, and it is impossible to determine the movement. Is it? Orochimaru narrowed his eyes slightly, then grinned again and chuckled softly. Then don't worry too much about it for now. After all, this time, as long as I successfully complete the subversion of Konoha, and then get the Book of Seal, I will have all my 15 forbidden techniques. At that time, you can officially start to come into contact with the wonderful organization Nameritsu Yigong. It's really exciting to think about it. Having said that, Orochimaru looked to his pocket again and said indifferently. Pouch, you should return to Konoha first. If a ninja arrives in Rain Shinobi Village, no matter who it is, remember to notify me as soon as possible, understand? Yes. Chapter 110 Naruto Shippuden Facts Protagonist Kidney Deficiency Gale for subscription ===. Advertisement. Time goes by. 2 days later. The wind is beautiful and sunny, and the sky is clear, cloudless and overcast. Qing Yu and his party at this time. It has successfully arrived, outside Konoha's gate. Looking at the wide white wall in front of me, extending towards the two sides. As well as the boundless trees and grasses around, the 3 Rain Shinobi students were all stunned at once. This Konoha, it's so big. One of the 5 great ninja villages in the ninja world, it has grown like this. The 3 sighed subconsciously. All 3 of them grew up in Rain Shinobi. This is the first time I have seen such a huge ninja village on such a magnificent scale. And Qing Yu ignored them, just looked at the Konoha village in front of him, with a faint smile on his face. Konoha village, this is the second time I have come. But compared with the original one, it doesn't seem to be much different. It was night at that time, but now it is daylight. Let's go in. Qing Yu said lightly to the 3 students. After that, he stepped directly towards the Konoha gate in front of him, and walked openly. The 3 young girls behind him quickly followed. However, just when they were about 10 meters away from the door. Suddenly, several Konoha shinobi guards immediately noticed that someone was approaching, and immediately said routinely. Wait, stop, who? Hearing this, Qing Yu was expressionless, did not stop, but directly took out a letter from his pocket, and threw it in casually, saying indifferently. Rain Shinobi Village, come to take the Chunin exam. As soon as the voice fell, the white letter flew into the hands of the Konoha shinobi. The person's heart suddenly moved, and he immediately stared upwards, and after a careful scan to confirm that he was correct, he slowly relieved his heart. Then he turned his head and waved to the ninja at the guard gate over there. Identity confirmation is correct. The Rain Shinobi ninja team taking the joint Chunin exam is here. Open the door. As soon as the voice fell, the guard in the distance suddenly changed his expression, and then immediately reacted, directly unlocking the barrier and mechanism at the gate. After handling this, he looked at this side and smiled politely. Welcome, guests of Rain Shinobi, please come in. As Konoha's gatekeeper, this time, he was personally asked by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Regardless of the ninjas of the small country ninja village, they must be respected. Only in this way, only in order to demonstrate the demeanor of Shinobu village as a great country. Therefore, even if he noticed that Rain Shinobi had only 4 people coming, he did not express his surprise too much. The front door opened and the barrier was lifted. Qing Yu nodded. Without saying anything, he walked in very leisurely. And the 3 people behind him all seemed to be nervous of varying degrees. This is also normal. After all, they are all entering other Shinobu villages for the first time, and of course they will have all kinds of complicated psychology. However, at this time, they hadn't walked long before they suddenly saw a person approaching directly in front of them. He walked quickly in their direction. This is a young ninja. He was wearing Konoha's regular ninja uniform and carrying a ninja sword. Although he looks pretty, but his face is pale, dark circles under his eyes are thick, and he looks very weak. In an instant, Qing Yu thought of a sentence. Kidney deficiency, sometimes after overwork, seems like the body is hollowed out. Qing Yu raised his eyes slightly and chuckled lightly. Advertisement. Of course he knew this person. The true protagonist of Naruto Shippuden. The man named Hate. At this moment, the young ninja with kidney deficiency stopped at a distance of about 1 meter in front of them. After that, he immediately showed a very friendly smile at them, weak and gentle. Is it Rain Shinobi's team? Hello, I am the special Jonin of Konoha Village, Moonlight Blast. I was also one of the examiners of this Chunin exam. Welcome to Konoha. Master Third Hokage Sarutobi asked me to guide you. Please, cough cough cough, please come with me, cough cough. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Hiki cough not. Sorry, my physical condition is not very good. Hiki cough. It's only halfway through. He even started coughing directly under his mouth. While coughing, he explained to them with a pale face. Heard that, Qing Yu just chuckled and nodded without saying anything. Although he wanted to ask, as the kidney overdrawn, it is obviously not suitable for this occasion at this moment. Cough cough cough, please come with me. Moonlight Storm coughed and motioned to Qing Yu. Then he turned around, led a few people, and walked in one direction of the street. After a long time, the cough subsided gradually. At this time, as he walked forward, he suddenly seemed a little curious and authentic. Anyway, a few guests, you seem to be the team with the least number of participating ninjas from various countries in this Chunin exam. You Rain Shinobi Village, are only 4 people participating in the assessment this time. Moonlight Blast asked with his head slightly tilted. His tone was very calm, and his expression was just ordinary surprise. It seemed that it was just asking inadvertently. But actually, what other people don't know is, at that time, when Sarutobi Hiruzen asked him to entertain Rain Shinobi Village ninjas, he also gave him a secret mission. That is to find out the details of Rain Shinobi Village contestants' information, in case of unexpected needs. Therefore, Moonlight Storm's questions are not without purpose. However, as soon as the voice fell, Qing Yu only raised his eyebrows, then shook his head lightly, saying, "Think too much. I am the teacher of the three of them. I will not take part in this Chunin exam. I just led the three of them." As soon as the words came out, Moonlight and Gale was taken aback for a moment, and couldn't help but stop. Then he looked over, his eyes surprised and authentic. "So, you Rain Shinobi Village, actually only 3 people participated." "Yes, Yuan, it turned out to be like this." Moonlight Hayate suddenly scratched his head in embarrassment, and said with a smile. "Really, I'm sorry, I missed it all at once." Moonlight Hayate said so on the surface, but suddenly he was surprised. What happened? This man with glasses, the amount of chakra in his body seems to be inferior to the 3 little ghosts in the back, actually can be their teacher. This is weird. Just as he was thinking about it, suddenly, he noticed an anomaly. This teacher Rain Shinobi wearing black-rimmed glasses has a black scabbard and dark gold knife slung around his waist. Ask for flowers. And the 3 genin of Rain Shinobi also carry a black straight knife behind their backs. Advertisement. This posture looks like, not like a ninja, but like a samurai. Wait, what's the situation? The Moonlight Blast was suddenly taken aback. What happened? When did Rain Shinobi Village begin to have the same samurai sword fighting style as the Iron Country? How come everyone is carrying a knife? Does this mean, a knife to chop Konoha? After thinking for a moment, Moonlight Hayate decided to ask directly. He raised his eyes again to look at Qing Yu, and instantly asked with a smile in a very casual tone. "Look, it seems, you seem to be teaching them swordsmanship, right? I noticed that each of you is carrying a knife. Such a dress is not very common in other places." Moonlight Hayate seemed to be talking casually. However, as soon as the voice fell, Qing Yu suddenly turned Byakugan and said indifferently. "It's just a knife on your back, isn't it common? Then what's behind you? Is it a model? Or an umbrella?" The Moonlight Blast was taken aback for a moment, and then the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. It suddenly occurred to him that what he said just now seemed to be a bit problematic. After all, he himself does carry a knife all day. Slip of the tongue. Moonlight Hayate immediately scratched his head in embarrassment, and then smiled and said. "Still, please continue to follow me. After all." He stopped talking, turned around and walked forward. However, with his back to their faces, the expression was a little frustrated. Damn it, this Rain Shinobi's spectacle man, obviously looks so honest, why is he speaking so horribly? I have indeed heard that people who wear glasses make complaints very badly. Is this the feeling? Moonlight Hayate smiled helplessly. He knows. This Rain Shinobi team's intelligence, I am afraid it is difficult to test out easily. Walking down the streets of Konoha, people come and go. The residents of Konoha seem to have become accustomed to the appearance of ninjas in the outer village on the street, so no one made a fuss about Qing Yu's appearance. And Moonlight Storm didn't speak anymore, leading them forward in silence. Kakashi's eyes moved toward Qing Yu's face. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at Hot MTL novel for free. But at this moment, the moonlight and gust of wind in front of him immediately brightened his eyes and said hello with a smile. This is the ninja of Rain Shinobi Village. Yo, Senior Kakashi. Naturally, the famous ninja world is 55, Hitaki Kakashi. In front of them, suddenly another person appeared. The moment I saw him. Hearing this sound, Kakashi suddenly raised his head and looked over. He was also wearing Konoha's ninja uniform, with one hand in his trouser pocket, and the other holding a small yellow book while reading. But then, Kakashi saw and noticed the 4 different faces behind him. The first thing that came to my eyes was naturally the face of Moonlight Gale with kidney deficiency. This man has white hair and a black mask. Konoha forehead protector tilted down to block his left eye. Chapter 111. A person who exchanges information for a small yellow book. For subscription ===. Advertisement. This is a young man with shaggy brown hair. He was wearing a black Rain Shinobi uniform with a black sword slung around his waist, like a samurai in the country of iron. But on his forehead, he did not wear Rain Shinobi forehead protector. Just wearing a black rimmed glasses. Although he is tall and straight, he shrugs his shoulders and puts his hands in his pockets, seemingly scattered. Overall, it feels like an honest person. Seeing such a person, Kakashi didn't really care. But at this moment, suddenly, for some reason, he frowned again. Immediately afterwards, he suddenly put down the little yellow book in his hand, and then walked to the side of Qing Yu, slightly suspicious. Excuse me, have we met? ? As soon as this word came out, the moonlight gust on the side and the 3 students of Rain Shinobi were all taken aback. What's the situation? They just came to Konoha, Kakashi actually said this. However, upon hearing this, Qing Yu still had no fluctuations, but raised his eyes slightly, looking at Kakashi, without any fear, and said with a chuckle. I do not quite understand you. Although your name Sharingan Kakashi resounds through ninja, I have indeed heard of it. However, today is the first time we two met, right? As soon as this word came out, Kakashi was taken aback for a moment. After staring at Qing Yu for a while, his eyes flashed slightly, frowning and saying, "Have you never seen it? But, your golden eyes always make me feel a little familiar." Kakashi's eyes fell slightly. My heart immediately began to think carefully. He will not doubt his memory, after all, he has never missed anything so far. Only, now I need to remember where I saw it. Golden eye, golden eye. Where on earth have I seen these strange eyes? And many more. At this moment, a flash of light flashed in Kakashi's mind, and instantly recalled a scene in his memory. That was a few years ago. In a commercial street in the country of fire. At that time, Kakashi went there to complete the mission, and thought about buying a copy of Intimate Paradise. As a result, not long after the purchase, a young man with golden eyes appeared. At that time, the boy was very strange. On the condition of Uchiha Obito's information, he took away the copy of Intimate Paradise in Kakashi's hand. After that, he disappeared with a very fast body technique. Until today, Kakashi never saw him again. Thought of here. Kakashi suddenly shrank his pupils and looked at Qing Yu in front of him again. After seeing these equally peculiar golden pupils, his eyes suddenly flashed and his heart sank. Correct. That's right, although the breath of the two is completely different. However, it should be these eyes. Aware of this, Kakashi's eyes sank suddenly, looking at Qing Yu, and said, "No, we have definitely seen it. Although your current appearance has completely changed, these golden pupils. I will not admit it wrong. It was in the commercial street in the country of fire. You offered to exchange a piece of information about my best friend for the book in my hand. Did you forget? Advertisement. Or, what are you hiding?" Kakashi said with his eyes down. Although he doesn't think this person will be an enemy. However, after all, he is also the person who once provided Obito's information, and of course he would not just let this important clue go directly. After hearing this, Moonlight Hayate and the three Rain Shinobi students were all startled. What, have they really seen this firm tone? The three Rain Shinobi students were stunned. They didn't expect the incident to suddenly develop into this way. And the Moonlight Gust on the side tightened in his heart, gritted his teeth slightly, and said, "After all, what is going on? Read more at mtlarchive.com. Seeing that Kakashi, who had always been lazy, suddenly showed this serious look, Moonlight Hayate immediately became nervous involuntarily. The surrounding air seemed to freeze in an instant, and there was even a feeling of rattling. Even the residents walking around couldn't help but cast their gazes in surprise, all of them puzzled. However, at this moment, Qing Yu's complexion remained unchanged. He just lifted his chin slightly, looked at Kakashi leisurely, and said with a light smile. "Sorry, Kakashi-san, can you elaborate on what book I used to exchange information?" Quote. As soon as he said this, Kakashi was taken aback. Then he frowned, and subconsciously lifted the copy of Intimate Heaven in his hand, looked at Qing Yu, and said intently. "It's the Intimate Paradise series of Lord Jiraiya. But it wasn't this one at the time, it was another one." Kakashi said seriously. Quote. However, as soon as this word came out, suddenly, the audience was silent. Even the moonlight blast that was tense in my heart just now, this one can't help being completely stupid. Etc. That person used intelligence, for a little yellow book. Are there any mistakes? How could anyone do such a lack of roots? Isn't your brain broken? Moonlight Hayate looked at Kakashi's eyes, and it suddenly became weird. He used to be Konoha's intelligence ninja, so this kind of statement sounds more than ridiculous. The passers-by were also completely stupid. What are you talking about? At this time, Qing Yu looked calm and smiled and said. Kakashi-san, I think you seem to be doing something wrong, right? The Intimate Paradise in your hand is nothing more than an entertainment novel. Apart from the contents of the 18th prohibition, it has almost no nutrition. And now, you actually said that I traded the intelligence for such a book. Hehe. Speaking of this, Qing Yu suddenly showed a soft smile. Afterwards, he did not know where he was from, suddenly took out a book with a gray cover, looked at Kakashi, and smiled faintly. Am I this kind of person? I read Strong Perseverance Ninja Biography, okay. Quote. Strong Perseverance Ninja. As soon as these words came out, after reading this book, even Kakashi couldn't help but feel confused. It's really tough and persevering. This kind of unsaleable book is actually always watched by someone. Seeing this, the moonlight gust on the side suddenly showed some embarrassment on his face. Looking at Kakashi, he smiled and said. It seems a bit misunderstanding. Kakashi-senpai, did you remember wrong? As soon as this word came out, Kakashi was taken aback first. Then, a wry smile appeared in his eyes suddenly. If you think about it carefully. Advertisement. Using intelligence to exchange for a book of 18 bands, this kind of remark sounds really unbelievable. But, what can he do? The boy at that time did indeed come up with this magical operation. And just when Kakashi felt helpless, Qing Yu continued to speak. He smiled, handed the book in his hand to Kakashi, and smiled lightly. Kakashi-san, it's better to read less that kind of books in the future, not only for your body, but also for your brain. Look at this positive energy. The voice fell. Kakashi caught the book subconsciously. However, Qing Yu still looked leisurely, and directly bypassed Kakashi, looked at the moonlight blast, and said with a smile. Hey Fengsang, I'm sorry you continue to lead the way. Ah, okay. Although Moonlight Hayate was a little confused, he nodded and said. Here, please come with me. Subsequently, Moonlight Storm led Qing Yu and his party and left directly. Only Kakashi remained in place, holding two different books in both hands. Quote. He slowly raised his head and looked at Qing Yu's back. Seeing that he was still a sloppy and laid-back look, it seemed that he didn't take this matter to heart at all. However, Kakashi still frowned. Although this person and the boy had a completely different breath and behavior, even his voice was a completely different lazy tone. But is it really that simple? Could it be that these two people really just happened to have similar eyes? Kakashi's eyes flickered slightly. Although his words had just been denied, he still felt that things were strange. This time Chunin exam, he decided to take a good look at this person Rain Shinobi came. However at this time, what they didn't notice was. In one direction on the street corner, there was a humble young ninja wearing round glasses in the crowd who witnessed all this. Naturally Yukushi Kabuto, however, due to the special location of his station. He didn't see the front faces of Rain Shinobi, he just heard what they said. Now, after seeing the few people of Rain Shinobi 3.7 left. His eyes flashed slightly, and then immediately disappeared from the crowd. Since Orochimaru explained the task to him before, of course he has to report immediately. After a while, he mixed into Sand Shinobi's base camp and found Orochimaru who was still disguising the wind shadow. He first recounted all the experiences he had witnessed, even including the nonsensical content in the middle. Then, he pushed his glasses and smiled and said, as predicted. Everything is the same as Orochimaru-sama speculated. Rain Shinobi Village actually sent people to participate. Akatsuki really wanted to hide the secret of the death of Hanzo of the Salamander. He was sighing. Suddenly, seeing Orochimaru's expression in front of him, he froze for some reason. Dudu suddenly became surprised and said, Orochimaru-sama, what's wrong with you? Heard that, Orochimaru looked over immediately, with a hint of horror in his eyes, gritted his teeth with an ugly expression, and said. Pouch, you just said. That spectacle ninja from Rain Shinobi, took out a truly perseverance ninja biography. Chapter 112 That man, here comes. For subscription ===. Advertisement. Orochimaru's voice fell off. Yukushi Kabuto was taken aback for a moment, wondering why he wanted to confirm this. But he nodded honestly and said, yes, it's the novel by Jiraiya. As soon as the voice fell, Orochimaru felt his heartbeat suddenly. I couldn't help but recall a terrifying detail. Then, when he was investigating Akatsuki's intelligence, he was defeated by Qing Yu sent by Akatsuki's organization. And then, after Qing Yu disappeared for a while, when he came back, he sold a book to him and the masked man at the same time. It is Jiraiya's Strong Perseverance Ninja Biography. Therefore, when he just heard the mention of this book, he subconsciously felt a bad feeling. Coupled with this person from Rain Shinobi, everything looks so weird. Tisk, it's not really such a coincidence. That man, isn't it this time, is he coming up for fun again? Orochimaru couldn't help but narrowed his eyes, and his brows began to frown deeply. And hearing this, Yukushi Kabuto on the side suddenly moved slightly, surprised. Orochimaru-sama. By that man, you mean. Hearing this, Orochimaru slowly turned his eyes and looked back, his eyes sharp, faintly. The eternal burning pupil master of Zai Palace. Qing Yu. Quote. ? Quote. As soon as the voice fell, Yukushi Kabuto couldn't help but breathe stagnant, his eyes froze. Eternal burning pupil master. Qing Yu. That guy with the power to slay the soul. This. Yukushi Kabuto's expression suddenly became complicated. Of course he will not forget the scene where Qing Yu killed Impure World Reincarnation Third Kazekage with a knife. But at this time, his face was a little weird and authentic. But, Orochimaru-sama, the person in front of me has a completely different breath from the Qing Yu I had seen before. Whether it's behavior or sound, it's completely two people, and whispering sound. Yukushi Kabuto was only halfway through when he was interrupted by Orochimaru. I saw a hint of cold light in Orochimaru's eyes, he narrowed his eyes and said slowly. This Qing Yu has always been an elusive person. Even if he has the same method as us that can completely change his breath and identity, I won't feel the slightest weird. Quote. ? Quote. Hearing this, Bao Bao's heart suddenly shook slightly, his pupils contracted, and said. Orochimaru-sama, do you mean, he chose to take the Chunin exam by disguising his identity just like us? Quote. Yes. Orochimaru stood up slowly, looked out of the window, narrowed his eyes and said. But, I don't know yet, what ideas he will make this time. I just hope, not to affect our future Konoha subversion plan. Quote. Hearing this, Dudu's eyes flickered suddenly. He lowered his eyes and seemed to start thinking about something. After a while, he suddenly raised his head again, looked at Orochimaru, and lowered his voice. Orochimaru-sama, it's better. I will be the Konoha shinobi, so I will test them in the following exams, right? If you know that the person is not Qing Yu, then you can proceed without any worries about the future plans. Advertisement. And if it is confirmed that he is, we can also take this opportunity to find Konoha's sealed book, collect 15 forbidden conditions and give it to him. Perhaps, he can still get his assistance. What do you think? Chu's eyes flickered at Orochimaru. Hearing this, Orochimaru's heart moved slightly, and then he nodded and said, then leave it to you to do it. However, before the confirmation is complete, never engage with the 4 people in Rain Shinobi Village, let alone reveal our information, you know. Clear. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Chu lowered his head slightly, and then left the room. And at the same time on the other side, Qing Yu and his party also followed the moonlight blast and came to a special building complex. The moment he came here, Qing Yu suddenly found out. The people here are mostly ninjas with different costumes and appearances. Apart from Sand Shinobi, there are people from Kushinan Village and Takanan Village. Obviously, this seems to be the place where Konoha arranged for the ninja from the outer village to live. At this time, the moonlight gust leading the way stopped and turned around and said, Rain Shinobi lives in the deepest part of this street, and there will be ninjas over there to receive you. I still have tomorrow's exam to be arranged, so I'll leave first. Cough cough cough. While talking, he coughed and left. As for the information of the contestants, he had already recorded all the information when he was on the road. Of course, people like Qing Yu who do not directly participate in the test do not need to record. Qing Yu and others walked forward all the way. You can also hear the conversations of many people on the road. Most of them are talking about the Chunin exam to be held tomorrow, but some people are also discussing information about ninjas in each village. Maybe it's because Qing Yu's breath is too ordinary. The arrival of the 4 of them did not attract the attention of too many other ninjas. Only occasionally someone glances at it. However, just after they walked over this side of Sand Shinobi's house, several Sand Shinobi ninjas got together in an instant. Their faces were a little weird, and they lowered their voices to discuss. Did you see clearly, the one taking the lead? Well, I can see it a little, but I don't feel like it. Yeah, I don't feel like it, either. Although the eyes seem to be the same color, they can't fit anywhere else at all. Could it be that guy's relative? Everyone was discussing, and there was no clue at all. And at this moment, suddenly, a young girl quietly walked behind them, frowned and said, What are you talking about secretly? Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. As soon as the voice came out, several people were immediately startled. Several Sand Shinobi immediately turned their heads and looked at them. The moment they saw it clearly, they immediately said, Tamari. That's right. At this moment, the people who appeared in front of them. It is one of the contestants who will take the Chunin exam this time, the only daughter of 4th Kazekage Roshi's 3 children. Tamari. After seeing the cold sweat on the faces of Sand Shinobi in front of him, Tamari frowned slightly. What are you talking about just now? Tell me about it. Advertisement. This. After hearing this, several Sand Shinobi glanced at each other suddenly, all of them were a little tangled. Until a moment later, the man on the left side and smiled helplessly. Tamari, we are actually observing the one that just passed on the road, the participating team of Rain Shinobi Village. What? Rain Shinobi? Tamari's face suddenly stagnated, and then, almost instantly, he was stunned. If it was a long time ago. As one of the 5 great shinobi villages, Sunagakure would never consider Rain Shinobi a small place in his eyes. Tamari also won't. But, the disaster a few years ago completely broke this status quo. That's right, it was the Rain Shinobi deterrence incident that had a huge impact on Sunagakure back then. At the end of that incident, Sand Shinobi almost ended in an absolute defeat. 4th Kazekage Luo Sha was completely defeated, and his whole body was injured for more than a month. Sunagakure's ace combat power, One-Tail Shuhei, even occupied Gaara's body and fled directly to the endless desert. Finally, relying on the 1,000 generations of the mother-in-law in the village and other powerful men to dispatch at the same time, only a few days later reluctantly recovered the Shuhei and Gaara in the desert. Tamari back then. The age is not too old. Therefore, she is not qualified to go to the battlefield at all. However, she heard everything that happened that day from the ninjas in the village. Thus, Tamari was shocked. Then she knew that it was not the Rain Shinobi ninja army who invaded Sand Shinobi 867. But, alone, a Rain Shinobi boy standing high above the sky with golden eyes. He possesses the extremely powerful Pale Fire style and Golden Lightning style, as well as the huge armored warrior summoning technique that is so powerful. Whether it is Fengying Luosha or One-Tail Shuhei, they are not his opponents at all. Therefore, even though everyone in Sand Shinobi hated Rain Shinobi in the end, no one dared to propose to attack the country of Rain. This gap in strength can't be made up by the number of ninjas at all. And the deterrence of those golden eyes. From then on, it continues to this day. And this time, joint Chunin exam. In fact, most of the ninja villages were invited by Konoha. So, Tamari didn't expect Konoha would actually invite the Rain Shinobi village to participate. Thinking of this, Tamari suddenly looked slightly ugly, staring at the few people in front of him, and asked in a low voice. As soon as he said this, Tamari's eyes flickered. Whether it's appearance or breath, it's completely different. Tamari. After that, her face was very serious, she lowered her voice, and said to the people in front of her. We did see a guy with the same golden eyes just now, but, it doesn't seem to correspond to that person back then. Quote. Question mark exclamation mark quote. This kind of dangerous existence, we can't let it go. As soon as the voice fell. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at Hot MTL novel for free. In Rain Shinobi's army, the guy with the golden eyes, is he here this time? Quote. Question mark quote. That guy shouldn't mess around, so, let's go and test it a little bit. Several Sand Shinobi immediately glanced at each other, and they all showed wry smiles. Chapter 113 Sand Shinobi hasn't been beaten enough yet. I'll give you one more time. For subscription equals. Advertisement. The audience suddenly fell silent. These Sand Shinobi looked at the serious expression on Temari's face, and all of them wondered if they had misheard. Wait. This Temari is big, what did you just say? She actually want to take the initiative to test this. Go crazy. In case that person is really the ruthless Rain Shinobi at the beginning, our temptation will be gone. She hadn't seen the terrifying power of that person back then, but we have seen it with our own eyes. Thinking of this, for a while, these Sand Shinobi showed expressions that were uglier than crying, and each of them spoke bitterly. This, Temari, you have to think about it. The guy with the golden pupil was able to solve an Anbu squad easily at the beginning. With this kind of strength, we are definitely not opponents. If he is tempted out by the time, what should he do if he shuts his mouth? Several people were very worried and said, the strength of a few of them is not high among Sand Shinobi ninjas, not even as good as Temari, of course they will be afraid of this. But after listening to these words, Temari's expression remained unchanged, still serious and authentic. Don't worry, even though it's a temptation, I will pay attention to it. Not to mention, this is Konoha. If he really took pains to disguise his identity, he certainly wouldn't want Konoha to discover his identity. In other words, you don't have to worry too much. Quote. At this point, several Sand Shinobi were taken aback. They understood what Temari meant just now, and after looking at each other, their face slowly showed a less nervous expression. After all, Temari's words did remind them a little bit. If that guy really came to Konoha by disguising his identity, it would just show that he was not a lawless person. Maybe this can be used. At this moment, Temari stepped straight forward and said, let's go. Before going there, I will discuss with Konkuro. It is good. Several people immediately followed Temari and left. And at the same time on the other side. The residences of Qing Yu and others were also arranged by Konoha's ninja. In a blink of an eye, the sun is near dusk, and the willow shoots on the moon. The entire Konoha village began to slowly step into the night. Qing Yu after dinner, after giving orders to the 3 students, he slipped out alone. In fact, when I came here before, he had already asked Moonlight Hayate about their freedom in Konoha. Moonlight Hayate replied that as long as it does not involve Konoha's government affairs or the secrets of various races, it is basically possible to move around in Konoha without restrictions. This seems to be a way for Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen to show Konoha's strong confidence to various countries. Since the exam will officially start tomorrow, Qing Yu will naturally not let go of this great opportunity to earn task rewards. That's right, as the main stage in the world of Naruto. The number of side missions in Konoha village is naturally very numerous. Moreover, the types of tasks can almost be said to be so many weird, even difficult to sort out. If these tasks are marked on Konoha's map, then the level of complexity is almost comparable to that of Ubisoft games. So after Qing Yu just glanced at the system panel, he chose to close it directly. Advertisement. After seeing this thing, it only increased the pressure. Anyway, the duration of the Chunin exam is also very long. Don't worry about these tasks, just complete them one by one. Qing Yu put his hands in his pockets. He walked openly on the street, and walked leisurely in the direction of the eye-catching huge building in front of him. However, it does not seem appropriate to say that it is a building. Because that thing is more like it was carved directly from the stone wall of the entire hill, with 4 huge human faces carved into it. It is the landmark building of Konoha Village. Naruto. The statue above is from left to right, read more at mtlarchive.com. They are the 4 Naruto since the establishment of Konoha Village. First Hokage, Senju Hashirama, the god of ninja who shouts with both hands together, even his own cells can become human-shaped self-propelled plugins for others. Second Hokage, Senju Tobarama, a forbidden expert who used water style as Haidun, and almost all forbidden skills except water style, used his own power to feed many Konoha juniors. Fourth Hokage, Namikaze Minato, the speed world will always drop the gods, a trick flying thunder god technique just played 6 times better than the original, without any blessings from the bloodline, but it is still very strong. Alright, of course there is third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen. One of the strongest Hokage who pulled Konoha from the top of the ninja world to alive during his reign, known as the King of Ninja World, the King of Konoha Shaking Pot, and so on. Looking at the 4 statues above, Qing Yu's eyes gleamed slightly. If you look at it up close, the Naruto rock is indeed much larger than expected, but the details of the architecture are indeed relatively rough. Qing Yu sighed. At this time, the prompt sound of the system popped up in my mind very timely. Ding! Congratulations to the host, the side mission is completed. A closer look at the landmark building of Konoha Village. Hokage Rock 1/1 completed. Reward. Reiatsu plus 2000, Mal points plus 250. When the prompt sound fell, Qing Yu suddenly smiled. Sure enough, it was easy. However, just as he was about to turn around and leave, suddenly, the system prompt sounded again. Ding! Congratulations to host, the system has detected that you have arrived at the Konoha building near Hokage Rock, and the branch mission is triggered. Destroy the Naruto Rock once, 0/1, incomplete, and the reward is unknown. As soon as this reminder sounded, Qing Yu was taken aback. Wait, destroy Naruto. I haven't even officially started the main task of the Chunin exam, so I need to demolition. When Qing Yu was thinking, suddenly, in his Reiatsu perception, two special breaths appeared, the direction of which was obviously towards this side. Qing Yu suddenly moved slightly in his heart and withdrew his thoughts. These two breaths happened to come from the left and right sides, with one person on the left and a group of people on the right. With this breath on the left, Qing Yu doesn't need to look at it at all, he knows who it is. Although this person has made certain disguise and changes to his own breath, his soul will not deceive others. Of course Qing Yu can see through it completely. Needless to say. Of course it is the horse from Orochimaru, the born, Yakushi Kabuto. Qing Yu can guess his purpose of coming here almost instantly. But he didn't bother to take care of it for the time being. So, he looked in the direction of the breath on the other side. After a while, when I saw there, a group of people wearing Sand Shinobi Genin uniforms suddenly appeared, slowly approaching this side. Among them, the leader is the eldest Temari of Sand Shinobi, and his younger brother, the puppet master Konkuro. And behind them, it is a group of passers by Sand Shinobi with stray fish faces and no drama. Advertisement. They were talking at the moment, while walking towards here. The expressions on everyone's face seemed to pretend to be very casual, as if they were chatting and shopping. However, Qing Yu suddenly became amused. What they don't know is. In front of Qing Yu, Tenten, who dealt with various celebrities, their disguise was seen through almost instantly. Compared with the mask Obito and the undercover ferret, can this be called acting? Qing Yu's heart suddenly sighed. Hey, Sand Shinobi, the little fresh meat is the little fresh meat. Although he was performing hard, it was far from Uchiha's old drama. Qing Yu knew in his heart. Since this group of Sand Shinobi came here specially, there are only two possibilities. Or, they didn't recognize Qing Yu, and wanted to come here to test a wave to determine their actions in the Chunin exam later. Or, they recognized it, so they wanted to come here to recognize it. But, Qing Yu suddenly laughed lightly. Just looking at the expressions of these people in front of him, he knew that Sand Shinobi was impossible to recognize. In other words, only the first is possible. Them. I came here to test. Thinking of this, Qing Yu's expression returned to calm, and he didn't plan to deal with the Sand Shinobi genin who were squeezing their feet. So, he raised his eyes directly, and walked directly towards the people of Sand Shinobi without expression. Everyone on the opposite side of Sand Shinobi saw this picture and they were all taken aback. What happened? Is he noticed us? How is this possible? We just pretended to be so good just now. Everyone, including Temari and others, couldn't help feeling a little startled at this moment, and the expression management was directly out of control. Seeing the figure of Qing Yu in front getting closer and closer, their hearts suddenly shrank, and they couldn't help but stop directly. However, Qing Yu's face was expressionless, and he walked forward lightly. Until I reached Temari's side. He just stopped. Afterwards, he turned his face slightly and looked at Temari faintly. The golden pupil flickered, indifferently and authentically. How? Let me just talk about it here. 4 changes a day, every change is about 3,500 words, and nearly 14,000 words are updated every day. He really came. I, Master Elf, summon Hades' dragon at the start. Quote. I'll give you one more time. As soon as the voice came out. Everyone's brains are instantly blank. Quote. Exclamation mark question mark quote. First today. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at Hot MTL novel for free. Don't hide it at all. Sand Shinobi, the country of wind, haven't you been beaten enough by Rain Shinobi? Chapter 114. Isn't this Yakushi Kabuto? I haven't seen such a trash in a few days. For subscription equals. Advertisement. Wait. What is going on? How is this possible? Now, everyone, including Temari and Konkuro, froze. Their thoughts were completely interrupted. No one wants it at all. Just before they were ready to go to the temptation, this guy, unexpectedly came over to speak to them. Moreover, it seems to reveal his identity as soon as he speaks. This moment, almost everyone could not help holding their breath, their hands and feet cold. Could it be that, this guy, doesn't worry about his identity being exposed? Thought of here, their expressions suddenly became a little horrified. And at the moment, Temari and Konkuro, after hearing Qing Yu's words, of course were equally shocked. Although the two of them have not seen the battle of the Golden Pupil in Sand Shinobi like the others. But, the various influences they have received in Sunagaku since they were young tell them. This person is a terrifying existence like a ghost. And just now, the moment Qing Yu approached them, they immediately felt that powerful sense of oppression. This feeling, it is absolutely impossible to be just an ordinary Rain Shinobi ninja. In other words, he didn't just say that as Rain Shinobi just now. But as his own identity. Thinking of this, Temari, who had froze for a long time, gritted his teeth slightly, and reluctantly spoke with a somewhat ugly face. It's really you. Are you not afraid of your disguise, is Konoha found out. 877. As soon as these words came out, Qing Yu suddenly raised his eyes slightly, and said very casually. Camouflage. What am I pretending? I'm just an ordinary range shinobi teacher, bringing students to take the Chunin exam. Are there any questions? Quote. 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 As soon as this word came out, Tamari was immediately stunned. Saint Sakura download mini program. Saint Sakura download mini program. Behind him, several Sand shinobi's mouth Kakuzu couldn't help but twitch. Normal range shinobi teacher, an ordinary teacher who was strong enough to kill Fengying and one-tail Shuhei. This, Sand shinobi's faces suddenly turned green. At this time, Qing Yu directly retracted his gaze, his face was leisurely, and said indifferently. But then again, if you plan to divulge my information, it's fine. I don't mind going to your village for tea after the Chunin exam. Quote. Question mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. As soon as these words were said, the complexions of everyone at Sand Shinobi suddenly changed, and they were shocked. What? Come to Sunagaku, have tea. However, before they can think carefully, Qing Yu already took a step, and left directly very leisurely. Only Sand Shinobi who was completely frozen in place was left. After a long time, Konkuro on the side turned his head stiffly, looked at Tamari solemnly, and gritted his teeth. No, Tamari, this man is too dangerous. We must go back immediately and discuss the countermeasures with your father. Konkuro's eyes were heavy. Advertisement. He began to realize that their plan for the Chunin exam. I'm afraid it would not be that simple to complete. After hearing this, of course Tamari could only silently agree. Now that the opponent's identity is basically confirmed. So, this is not something they can interfere at this level. After a while, a crowd of Sand Shinobi left in a hurry. And this time on the other side, the secret Yakushi Kabuto saw this picture, and suddenly became strange in his heart. Because he was too far away from the people here just now, he didn't even hear what they were talking about. Read more at mtlarchive.com. So, after seeing Sand Shinobi's face change, he was surprised. Could it be that they have confirmed their identities? However, when I was thinking about it, suddenly, only a familiar and unfamiliar voice came from behind. Yo, isn't this Yakushi Kabuto? I haven't seen him in a few years, so I'm so rubbish. Quote. Question mark exclamation mark quote. As soon as this voice came out, Yakushi Kabuto instantly felt cold behind his back. In the next moment, his pupils shrank instantly and his face changed a lot and looked behind him. But I saw it by the wall over there. A young man with brown hair wearing a range shinobi uniform with a black knife on his waist was standing there with a smile on his front at the moment, his golden pupils gleaming slightly. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Seeing these familiar pupils, Yakushi Kabuto's heart suddenly shrank. The previous thoughts were completely interrupted. That's right. It is these breathtaking golden eyes. It's definitely him. Although the breath of the whole body is completely different, it can never be wrong. Realizing this, Yakushi Kabuto immediately held his breath, lowered his head and hurriedly explained in a low voice. Sorry, I am not monitoring your actions, just to confirm my identity, right? Before Yakushi Kabuto finished speaking, Qing Yu directly interrupted him casually. That's right. Yakushi Kabuto nodded honestly, and then immediately squeezed out a very reluctant smile on his face, saying. Really? It really deserves to be Qing Yu-sama. Even if I keep my aura from observing in secret, I can't escape your true evil king's eyes. And, can come behind me so unexpectedly. Quote. Do said in his usual tone. Upon hearing this, Qing Yu suddenly turned Byakugan and said. Don't blow. Go ahead, what did Orochimaru ask you to do? Quote. Dudu was taken aback for a moment, but he didn't expect Qing Yu to be so direct. And, for some reason, it seems that he already knew that Orochimaru had gotten into Konoha village. After thinking for a moment, Dudu lowered his eyes slightly and said. It's true. Regarding this Chunin exam, Orochimaru-sama has a plan to carry out. However, after realizing that you were also present, we will inevitably have concerns. So, he wants me to ask you, the reason why you came to Konoha village this time, is there something to be done? As soon as the voice fell, Qing Yu suddenly raised his eyebrows slightly. So it is. Orochimaru seems to be afraid that my presence will disrupt his Konoha subversion plan. Thought of here. Advertisement. Qing Yu shook his head blankly, and said casually. I have nothing to do. Quote. It just happened to come to Konoha for a stroll. As soon as the voice fell, the expression on Yakushi Kabuto's face was taken aback. Stroll. From the Rain Shinobi village to the Fire Country Konoha village. Is it poisonous? Dodo suddenly smiled bitterly in his heart, then raised his head and said. Qing Yu-sama, you really like to joke as always. However, can I interpret your words as, you will not interfere with Orochimaru-sama's plan? Do tentatively said. Qing Yu raised his eyes slightly, his expression did not fluctuate, and said lightly. You can think so. He really didn't intend to interfere too much. After all, this time, the main task of the system is just to participate in major events. And he now has an upright identity, and there is no need to sneak in any small actions. Hearing Qing Yu's answer, Do's eyes suddenly lit up. Then, a smile appeared on his face, and he lowered his head slightly and said. I understand. I will tell Orochimaru-sama what you have said truthfully. Then, there is one last thing that needs to be confirmed to you. About a few years ago, the 15 Forbidden Techniques, Covenant Yuan we called, do you know, is it still in effect now? When these words came out, Qing Yu was taken aback for a moment. Immediately after, suddenly I remembered it. System branch line. Collect any 15 banned skills, 0/15ths in total. If you don't complete them, you will get X special rewards. Because of the long time, Qing Yu even almost forgot that he asked Orochimaru to collect this. If you think about it carefully, the reward for completing this task is a rare X level. Of course not to be missed. Thought of here, Qing Yu grinned immediately, chuckling happily and said. Of course it works. As long as you pay the price of 15 forbidden techniques as I said at the beginning, you can officially become a member of the Void Knight Palace. I will also fulfill my promise and give you some necessary help at critical times. Quote. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. As soon as this word came out, Do's eyes lit up in an instant, and his heart was ecstatic. It's really okay. Master Orochimaru's thoughts on collecting forbidden techniques in the past few years have not been in vain. Thought of here, Do immediately lowered his head and said with a smile. Great, I will inform Master Orochimaru of this immediately. If there is no accident, tomorrow, no, tonight, after tonight, we will be able to offer you 15 forbidden techniques. Yakushi Kabuto said confidently, with a deep smile. Can. Qing Yu also smiled and nodded. Then he turned around leisurely, waved his hand, and said indifferently. Then I will wait for your good news. By the way, you are welcome to join in advance. Yes. Chapter 115 Lord Naruto, your home has been invaded. Subscribe from ===. Advertisement. Yakushi Kabuto was smiling, watching Qing Yu disappear into the crowd. Then, involuntarily let out a sigh of relief. Call. For him, chatting face to face with Qing Yu, it seems that you can feel the oppression that seems to be there at any time. After all, this man easily beheaded a soul in front of him and Orochimaru, which was a foul. Therefore, Do dare not to offend or disrespect him in the slightest. But now, after listening to what Qing Yu said just now, he finally relaxed in his heart. Previously, he was worried that Qing Yu would be unbelievable and overthrow the forbidden contract with Orochimaru, but now it seems that it's over. Don't worry about it. Hee. Sure enough, strong people like this level all have their own creeds that they adhere to. Do chuckled and murmured. Then he stretched out his hand, pushed his glasses slightly, and left. At night, two quietly came to Sand Shinobi's headquarters again. Because Sand Shinobi's ninjas have met these allies once before. Therefore, they naturally also know that this guy wearing glasses is the partner of this attack on Konoha. Therefore, they didn't stop them, so they let him in. There was a faint smile on Do's face. Ally. This is indeed the word Orochimaru used when talking with Fourth Kazekage. But actually, this group of Sand Shinobi ninjas don't even know yet. Their Fourth Kazekage Luasha was killed by a sneak attack by Orochimaru on the way to Konoha. Today's Fourth Kazekage is just a disguised display. But this kind of thing, of course, there is no need to talk to the outside world. Tu walked forward while carefully observing the surroundings. As a veteran intelligence spy, he certainly has a high level of professionalism. However, what he didn't expect was, he had just arrived here, and he saw the front, Temari and Konkuro of Sand Shinobi slowly leaving from the living room of Fukage. They are also here. Seeing this, Do naturally stopped and waited quietly for them to leave. I can only vaguely hear that they seem to be talking about the Chunin exam and Rain Shinobi Village Ninja. After they had completely left, Dudu cautiously came to Feng Ying's living room. After confirming that no one is listening or peeping around, he went in with confidence. However, as soon as he came in, he didn't speak yet. Orochimaru, who was disguised as a wind shadow in front, suddenly spoke to this side. I already know, pocket. Hearing this sudden word, I was stunned for a moment. Then, his face moved slightly. After reminiscing about the two people who had just left, he suddenly lowered his voice and said. Orochimaru-sama, Temari and Konkuro, have you brought the information back to you? Yes. Orochimaru raised his eyes slightly and looked over, his eyes flickered, unexpectedly and calmly said. Fortunately, I have already been mentally prepared. When I heard those two little ghosts say it, I knew, this time, the plan needs to be slightly changed. Advertisement. Speaking of this, Orochimaru paused slightly, solemnly. I have told them both. In the subsequent Chunin exam, Sand Shinobi should try to avoid being hostile to Rain Shinobi Village contestants, otherwise, it will easily cause unnecessary trouble. The same goes for Otonin Village. It must not affect the normal progress of our plan. Quote. Having said that, Orochimaru pulled back the topic, looked around, and said. So, regarding your trial of Qing Yu this time, is there any information that is beneficial to us? For the time being, let's listen. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Of course he knew that the pockets were rewarding, otherwise he wouldn't come overnight. At this time, Do pushed his glasses slightly, and said with a chuckle. Good news, Orochimaru-sama. Qing Yu-sang doesn't seem to intend to interfere with us, just let us arrange it ourselves. Moreover, he promised us again. As long as you pay 15 forbidden techniques, you can join the Void Knight Palace, and, when necessary, you can get their assistance. In other words, Orochimaru-sama, tonight, we can start preparing to steal the sealed book. At the end of the speech, a trademark smile appeared on Do's face. And Orochimaru, who was still indifferent just now, couldn't help but feel happy at this moment, and chuckled lightly. Tisk tut, sure enough, it's good news. It seems that Qing Yu is really interested in forbidden surgery. Then, let's act 2. Talking. Orochimaru suddenly stood up from the futon, then grinned slightly and chuckled. I will use Fourth Kazekage as Fourth Kazekage to hold Sarutobi Hiruzen in the name of discussing the Chunin exam. Then, it's up to you to carry out the theft of the sealed book, understand? Do not worry. Tu lowered his head slightly, showing a smile of, I am familiar with this business. Subsequently, the two set off under the moonlight. ... Time goes by. It was late at night in a blink of an eye. In a large meeting room in Konoha village. But still brightly lit. Inside, Sunagaku's Fourth Kazekage is discussing something with Sarutobi Hiruzen. At this time, the two guards outside had already yawned one after another, and their expressions were very helpless. The man next to him smiled bitterly and said, Hey, what's the situation? This Sunagaku Fourth Kazekage, is it such a stubborn person? I just kept chatting with the third generation master. Quote. When the voice fell, the other person shook his head and sighed. After all, this Chunin exam is a matter of both countries, so I probably don't want to be too hasty. Understand, keep on guarding. And at this time. In the meeting room, Sarutobi Hiruzen also thought about what this Feng Ying said from time to time. In fact, of course he was already a little impatient. However, Feng Ying in front of him seemed to have no intention of stopping, as if he wanted to figure out all the details of the entire Chunin exam. Just when Sarutobi Hiruzen finally couldn't stand it anymore and tried to interrupt him. Advertisement. Suddenly, the mutation happened. I saw outside the door, suddenly a figure of Konoha Anbu ninja came in. The moment he entered, he immediately knelt on one knee and hurriedly said loudly. Huo, Hokage-sama, the big thing is not good. Your residence was invaded. The Konoha seal book kept in your place was taken away by mysterious ninja. Quote. Question mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was silent for a moment. Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart tightened instantly, his pupils shrank suddenly and his face froze. What? The Book of Seal was stolen. Yes, it is. The Anbu member lowered his head and said with mixed emotions. The guards over there, all fell down. The trail of the stealer has disappeared now. Quote exclamation mark question mark quote. As soon as this word came out, Sarutobi Hiruzen was even more surprised and stood up. What's going on? While this Fourth Kazekage was meeting with me here, was someone invaded on my side? What a coincidence, isn't it? Sarutobi Hiruzen's face suddenly became gloomy, and he looked at Fourth Kazekage on the opposite side for the first time. To be honest, in this situation, what should be most suspected? Of course, Feng Ying used the strategy of adjusting the tiger away from the mountain. However, as soon as Sarutobi Hiruzen looked over, the Feng Ying seemed to have noticed, and suddenly made a deep voice, saying. What's the matter? Sarutobi Hiruzen, are you suspicious of a sand shinobi? It's obvious. It's someone from the outer village with ulterior motives, who is using this gap in our discussions as a shield, isn't it? As soon as he said this, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes suddenly stopped. Gee, indeed. In this case, this possibility is not unavailable. If the ninjas in a certain other village find out that Fukage is negotiating with Naruto, it is indeed possible to take advantage of this loophole. There are too many possibilities. Thinking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen took a deep look at Feng Ying, then looked at Anbu, and said solemnly. That thief, did Konoha leave? As soon as the voice fell, the Anbu member thought about it, and then replied cautiously. It shouldn't. At present, no members of the enchantment unit have observed anyone leaving Konoha. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly snorted, his face gloomy and authentic. Humph. It seems that the person who captured the Book of Seal is still in Konoha. This shows that he must be a ninja from one of the major countries that participated in the Chunin exam this time, of course, also Sand Shinobi. Having said that, Sarutobi Hiruzen once again looked at Fourth Kazekage sharply, and said in a deep voice. The Book of Seal is of great importance. Although we have no evidence so far. But, please, Sand Shinobi, like other shinobi villages, cooperate with our investigation after Konoha, how about? Quote. As soon as these words came out, Feng Ying just snorted and said. Humph, then investigate. We, Sunagaku, will never do this kind of sneaky thing. His tone was even righteous. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned deeply, staring at the moonlight outside the window, and the doubts in his heart became deeper and deeper. Who on earth is it? Has a bad heart for Konoha's sealed book.